All right, we live.
Remember, do the IBB that we trying to sound. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. So we live another IBB. I'm Bro Baby
Podcast.
podcast. Favorite perspective. You know that is Joe Rose with the Drives and Retro.
Nigga Westbrook. Right now, Denver up by 10.
Do we know what really happened with Bones Highland?
I don't know. Like my best friend put me on the Bones Highland. I saw him and he looked solid, but it's this shit is business. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's business. Some
That
dudes
part.
get traded, some dudes don't.
Yeah, but it got like it
Good
got
ball
ugly over
movement.
there with Denver.
Really? It was that bad? I didn't hear all that. You know what I'm saying? I just heard that he was traded. I didn't know the behind the story if there was anything per se.
Nuggets
Excuse me.
coach doesn't mince words. Bones Highland draws eye-opening response from former coach Mike Malone. Uh, Mike Malone called Mason Plumlee, the former Nugget, the best backup center. I wish him all the best. Okay, but saying Bones was Highland was upset about his playing time.
He was upset about his playing time. Hold on one second. What team he on now?
Bones Highland's on the Clippers
Oh shit! All right, hold on.
because they were just booing him right now in the stadium. Because now for it
Oh, now it
is one,
makes sense.
yeah,
All right.
it's one thing if you got traded, okay, but what went so bad that your former team is booing you? Just talking to me, just letting me know what's going on, stuff like that. I feel like it was just so low.
He was averaging 12 points, but I mean, it be like that. People once people leave a team, they forget about all that. As soon as you on another team, look at Patrick Beverly. Patrick Beverly on the Bulls, they clapping for him. As soon as he get traded and come back to that arena, they go boo him. That's just how it is. But sometimes people go through different things. They go through different journeys. Like maybe Bones Highland wasn't comfortable there. Maybe he go to the Clippers. Maybe that's better for him. Look at Chauncey Billups. Chauncey Billups used to jump around, bump around. Some of it his fault, most of it not. And look how he turned out. Sometimes it's all about fit.
It's mostly you think not, it wasn't Chauncey Billups' fault because I never understood why
No,
he went to
no, no,
like
no, no.
he's
I
another guy
said,
on the five team.
yeah, he's definitely on the I got five on the list. Absolutely. But the thing about it, I said that. I said some of it was his fault. But you gotta understand he was young and immature, of course, like we all are. But most of it wasn't. That whole Rick Pitino debacle in Boston with him wanting to press and play like they in college. You can't play like that in the league. You know what I'm saying? He was playing good in Minnesota. They coming off a nice little playoff run. They just traded him for no reason. Then he goes, look at what he goes to Detroit, where he fit in perfectly, became a leader. He became a superstar in a way. He was a star. Like that people would say what they want about him. That little 5-year run in Detroit, they was making the Eastern Conference Championship every year. They went to 2 finals appearances. He won finals MVP in that stretch. You understand what I'm saying? But sometimes it's just about fit. Like, just like look at when the Lakers was getting coached by the dude Jack McKinney or whatever. They win a championship, yeah, but he ain't do what Pat Riley did because the players saw Pat Riley was the better coach. Sometimes this is just about fit.
Oh, that's a different story. Jack McKinney, he got into an accident. Jack McKinney was
Yeah,
the guy. He
no,
treated.
not Jack McKinney, the guy that was replacing him while he was hurt. I mean,
Oh right. Damn, that wasn't Jerry West.
that wasn't Jerry Rice. And speaking of coaches, I don't know if you was watching the Minnesota Viking game. I mean, the Minnesota Timberwolves game. But the coach for Minnesota looks like fucking Keanu Reeves, aka Jack Travin's partner from Speed. The coach for Minnesota looked just like him, bro.
Chris Finch.
Yeah, he looked just. That's the guy that played it.
No, that's the coach.
Yeah, him. No,
Yeah.
yo. All I can see is him getting shot in his thigh by Keanu
Yeah.
Reeves. He
But
looked just like him.
um, you saying Chauncey Billups, Boston.
No, Chauncey Billy, I just think that sometimes they look at, I don't think it was Chauncey per se. Some coaches are just, like I always say about Larry Brown, we spoke about this. Larry Brown, when he was coaching the Olympic team, he didn't want to play Braun and Dwayne Wade and them. Talking about they young, they rookies. Nah, they put them in the game, bro.
Yeah.
You trying to win. And they were giving you the best opportunity. You trying to put Carlos Boozer in there and Tim Duncan and Iverson. That don't match. Like, come
Yeah.
on, man.
I don't know what we heard from Mike Malone. They brought Joker around pretty well because they developed him, like we said. He wasn't he didn't come out the gates being a super this guy that we see now. So they developed and they had Nurkic there at first. So with Bones Highland, it's like look at Popovich. Even though you could be talented like Steven Jackson or even the kid DeJounte Murray, something about him that turns off certain players with flair or whatever it is.
It's not even that. Like a lot of these coaches, like I said, they still think it's 1995. Like you can't pull on. It's 2023. A lot of these dudes is different. They're not. You can't coach everybody hard. You can't curse at everybody. You can't do certain things. Not saying that you can't challenge your team, but it's all about knowing the person. You know what I'm saying? That Chuck Daly style, Pat Riley, 90s way of coaching. Not everybody's for that. That's why when Phil Jackson, like you called the Zen Master, it was a combination of stern and understanding. You know what I'm saying? Not every coach has that. Like Greg Popovich is a great coach, but Tim Duncan personality, maybe that fit Pop. That's why it worked so well. Maybe
Right.
that Ginobili, Tony Parker, Bruce Bowen type of personality fit.
The Clippers had a little run, but
No, they've been down by they've been down by double digits. Just that they keep saying that it's hard to play in Denver, but it's just Aaron Gordon.
I might have to get a regular cable. I have like the cable with the internet.
No, that's how cable gets you. Like they know that they need you. What they need to make, we need to make our own cable where it's just sports, not movies, just sports. You can see all the sports. Because think about it, basketball come on 7, TNT, ESPN, MSG, the NBA Network. All that shit should be on a cable. It should be a man's package. It should be the gentleman's package. You understand what I'm saying? Baseball, for all that shit in there. But they know that's what I would do. We about to make IBB TV, and we about to have that. The gentleman package. And this is being recorded and live. So we know we own this shit when it come out.
Joker's so slow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he's nice and everything. Don't get me wrong. Joker is nice. But at the same time, his type of play, the way he played, he too slow out there. He mad doofy. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he also got. I'm sorry, but remember earlier your man too was talking about. I was looking at Denver's roster. They got 5-6 guys averaging double digits. Aaron Gordon's giving you 19 points. You got Jamal Murray giving you 21 points. You got Michael Porter Jr. giving you 17. You got other dudes chipping and Bruce Bowen giving you 12. Like, the Denver's roster is not as bad as y'all think or people say. But Bruce Brown, I'm sorry, but what I'm saying is you could look at this team, Denver, and see they're not winning a championship. They're not winning no championship.
But part of that reason is because we don't, Dirk, Hakeem Olajuwon are the only ones without that second super sidekick.
I mean, I can't say that. I know Jason Kidd was fading, but it was still Jason Kidd when he was on. He was still playing. He was still a good contributor to that Maverick.
And they had a bunch of those guys.
No, he had Jason Terry. No, Jason Terry was averaging 20, and he had Jason Kidd, who was still Jason Kidd as far as passing and setting up the offense. So Dirk played with some solid guys. He had I'm saying Terry was a great co-star. He was averaging 20. He was putting up buckets. He was very big for Dirk in that playoff championship run.
But he's the closest. It's still Hakeem and Dirk for me, where does Duncan, is Ginobili and Tony Parker in a franchise player conversation?
Nah, you can't front. I'm not gonna front on. I hate Tony Parker. I hate Manu Ginobili. But Ginobili coming over from that European, like I said earlier, Ginobili brought the Euro step to the league. Dwayne Wade was doing it in Ginobili. Now everybody does the Euro step. So you got to give Ginobili, like I said, he fit Popovich's situation. Tony Parker fit the situation. So they were guys that, yeah, Tony Parker could get individual stats, but they fit in the team frame. Ginobili was cool with coming off the bench. A lot of dudes don't want to swallow that pride. You know what I'm saying? Ginobili was cool with that. And you know what I'm saying? Even Tim Duncan one time took a step back to Tony Parker. But that's how Tony Parker won the finals MVPs.
He did have Kawhi eventually also.
Yeah.
So, but my point is that Cleveland, LeBron had Kyrie. In Miami, he had D Wade. San Antonio, pick your poison with Ginobili, Tony Parker, but Kawhi was there at the end. The Raptors with Kawhi there. I don't know if there's another. Siakam and Kawhi is vicious.
And they had Kyle Lowry.
Right. All right. Do we put Giannis in there?
Giannis has Middleton and Giannis has a solid.
Jrue Holiday is solid.
No.
Yeah.
Middleton is his sidekick, but Jrue Holiday look like he's taking the reign from Middleton. Look like it's going Giannis, Holiday, Middleton. But to me, last year it was Giannis, Middleton, Holiday. Jrue Holiday he's stepping up as the sidekick now. Yeah, because remember, Middleton also coming off the injury.
I think those are super defensive playmakers, and Brook Lopez.
Yo, that's why I was saying when you look at a healthy Milwaukee Bucks and a healthy Celtic team, those are the two biggest, deepest teams in the East. Those are clear-cut the best teams. It's going to be hard for a team like the Phoenix Suns to beat them because, yeah, you have Ayton, but Brook Lopez can play in and out. He's going to pull Ayton down. You understand what I'm saying?
And they're bothering you.
And if you play in Boston, Time Lord, the same thing. He could play the box, but his defense, he could push you out. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it.
And it's a well-oiled machine. For me, that's what Boston is. That's what Boston is. But going back to my point with Denver, I don't think they are that. I don't see what the Bucks have. We just mentioned Jrue Holiday and Middleton swapping as Giannis' sidekick, especially on defense. On offense, it's pretty much when Middleton is healthy. He's up and down also, but he's vicious. Yes. That mid-range is vicious. Absolutely. Denver doesn't have that as a Joker sidekick.
When you look at it, the Denver Nuggets, you know a championship roster when you see a championship roster. And when I look at how Jokic played, yes, he's super great. But Jokic is not it. Jokic is not that guy. You're not winning a championship with Jokic right now. I'm not talking about his career going forward. I'm talking about at this moment. That's not a championship roster.
I say the roster is a championship, but Jokic is a championship player.
No. Jokic is we have to see him. We have to see him. Like I said, we have to see him. He's been an MVP the past 2 years. So this season, there should be no excuse. You should be at least minimum. I should see the Denver Nuggets playing the Phoenix Suns in the Western Conference Final, if that's the case.
You know what? You're the number one seed because that's a step up. Yes,
you're the number one seed.
3-time MVP, like we saying. And to be honest, it's not that for me. Like I always say, I just want to because the one thing that we don't talk about that we always bring up is against Embiid, against a healthy AD, against Giannis, Joker. What's going on? Right?
Exactly. He be MIA.
Also, you know me, I see the emotional IQ. I've seen him get kicked out of playoff games.
Yes.
What's going on with you, Joker? You're supposed to be the wizard. You're getting a little too. I think the pressure's getting to him sometime in the playoffs. We could tell it's stressful. So we want to see that. You got to hone that in because we ain't seen Giannis fold. We ain't seen Giannis fold. I haven't seen Giannis fold. I don't care what. Even though they said Kawhi might have locked him up when he was in Toronto, that was a super Toronto defensive team, and they built the wall and everything like that. But I ain't never seen Giannis fold. To get kicked out of a game like that is folding. I think that's an emotional lapse.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But yo, did you? So you watched the Lakers game?
Yeah, I definitely saw that.
We thought it was over.
I texted my homeboy. I was like, "Yo, Lakers getting fried." But when I texted him that, I knew that it was still early. So I'm looking at the game, how it's going, and what I keep saying, Dallas with Kyrie and Luka, they can't play no defense. It came down to getting defensive stops. It's gonna come down to getting defensive stops. And then the Lakers' defensive intensity rose to the occasion. AD blocking everything. You got LeBron blocking Kyrie. You got the dude they just got. What's the dude name?
Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt out there looking like the defensive player of the year for one game. You know what I'm saying? And Dallas was just taking threes and just lost the focus, and they gave up the lead.
Speaking of Minnesota before with Chris Finch, and I think the general manager's name is I forgot his name, but their general manager for Minnesota created that what's called the time machine on ESPN, so you could like do fake trades on there on ESPN, and that's the guy that's running the Minnesota Timberwolves right now, right?
So he should okay.
So some sort of nerd like that, right? Okay, you are the inventor of the time machine, and you came up with that trade for Gobert. You lost Vanderbilt. That was the one guy I said I wanted. When the Lakers got him, another guy, I don't know what kind of sneaky deal Danny Ainge got going on with the Lakers. That was a steal. That was a steal because Vanderbilt was doing the same exact thing for the Timberwolves.
It's called being a shrewd operator.
Listen, he got something going on. The Cleveland should have called him to trade Kevin Love over there because he was in a buyout situation anyway. So Vanderbilt is an important piece, and you're seeing it now with the Lakers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And like I said, I know it. We know that this roster for the Lakers is not a championship roster, but it's all about getting the right opponent and getting rolling. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? And it's all about being healthy. Like, that's why when you look at the West, like in the East, we got two clear-cut Milwaukee just won their 14th game in a row with Middleton and Giannis being in and out of the lineup. There's nobody doing that in the West. They won their 14th game in a row. That was their 14. They won a 14-game winning streak, bro.
So I misheard them. I thought it was what you said. I thought it was like when they wow.
14 games, and Giannis and Middleton have been in and out the lineup. That's why I said Drew Holiday is stepping up he had 33 today without Giannis being there. So you look at Boston, you look at and Milwaukee. Those are the clear best two teams in the league. Now the third team, by record, you would say is Denver. But Denver's not. Denver looks like Utah when Utah was in the number one spot. They're not scaring anybody. Do you believe we still got to wait till KD get on Phoenix and see what he looks like? So it's open where it is. There's no clear cut. So we need the top two best teams in the West.
And so to touch on what you said, to add on to that, connecting KD on Phoenix, what we saw with the Bucks to be that gritty without your star, Phoenix isn't that gritty without KD, so that means it's even more pressure on KD when he comes back. I just don't see that being a winning situation for them, at least a final situation. I just can't see it because you can't win without him.
That's what I was saying earlier when we was talking to two. It's like I said minimum Western Conference Finals because I'm looking at the health factor. Chris Paul is due a State Farm turtleneck event. Devin Booker is due to oversized denim look, and KD is gonna have on his Scully looking like a burglar. They get hurt.
Yeah.
They get hurt, and I'm just basing it off of health. Now, if there was no health issues and I saw that team, yes, they should be making the Western Conference Final. That's why I said, in a perfect world, it should be Denver versus Phoenix in the Western Conference Final. Because I think it's going to be the Celtics and Milwaukee, just like last year, in the Eastern Conference Final, minus injuries. Injuries.
It's just like Philly without Embiid. We don't believe.
We're not doing. We don't believe you. You need more people.
Yeah. Yes, that's a good question. What team without their main guy is in this conversation? It's only the Bucks and the Celtics.
No, that's what I'm saying. The only team that showed that they can play well without their star may be the Grizzlies, but the Grizzlies is a second round exit. They're a second round exit because they're immature. That's why.
Yeah.
Their immaturity is holding them back.
Yeah, they're missing that vet. They're missing a vet. Again, another team. They didn't holler at Minnesota about Vanderbilt. They didn't holler at about Utah for Vanderbilt.
That's team scouting. That means the Lakers got some good scouting, good scouters out there. Because because he's a defensive dude. This dude was causing havoc today.
17 rebounds.
How many times he ripped Luka?
Yeah. Yeah, no, the end of the game, he was 1 for 5
That's what I'm
again when Luca
saying.
when he was guarding
I'm
Luca.
looking at. I'm like this dude. I'm like, who is this dude? I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought he was white when I heard Vanderbilt. I'm thinking, oh, who's this white guy, the Lakers guy? Because I don't really pay. But when I saw him play today, I'm like, damn, who is this dude? And that's why I'm
Nah,
like, oh, this is Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt was serious. I think he was number 18
Yeah,
on Minnesota. That's
no,
who Minnesota's missing from last year, and they don't get to grow. You can't like
that's
I just
crazy.
and again, that's why I was saying before, Minnesota, they just that's why in the game it's tough, man. It's tough with all the playoff, the playoff stuff. How you gonna go further in the playoffs if your general manager make moves like that? How?
I
If
mean,
you
it
Anthony
happens,
Edwards, you
man.
ain't mad?
I
Like, come
mean,
on, man. You ain't mad? You traded Goldberg for all this?
but how much run was he getting in
A
Minnesota?
lot.
Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt was big time for them.
Hold on, let me go check. Hold on. You say he's on the Lakers. Hold on.
Yeah, he was getting at least he was doing the same thing. At least let's say 20, 25 minutes. And he was just the scrappy defender. And he would like because they think that I think his name is Jaden McDaniels on Minnesota, that he could just fill in for him. And just like, bro, you had Vanderbilt and Jaden McDaniels. Why would you trade that? And it's not even just you traded them, you traded like 7 draft picks. That was
I'm gonna
horrible.
I'm gonna keep it all the way a buck with you. He wasn't really doing much on Minnesota. He averaged 1 point one year. He averaged 5 points and then 6 points, and then he was averaging 5 or 6 rebounds. So, and he was
Nah, but
also getting. But I'm just
mhm.
saying he played in 64 games in 2020 21. He played in 74 games in 21-22. He played in 52 games for Utah this year. So I mean, this year he was averaging 8 points. So for his career, he's 8.7 rebounds.
Right. But that's not the guy you expect. It's just like let's say someone like Lou Dort on OKC. You don't expect him to be no breakout offensive player, but he locks people down. And he's scrappy. That's what Vanderbilt is. He's not going to be a cornerstone player on in the NBA. But
No, and also
look what he's doing for the Lakers today.
that's
If
what I'm
Anthony
saying.
Davis, because everything hinges on Anthony Davis' health. If we don't know
Yes,
that, if he's healthy, they're in the championship conversation.
and that's what I'm saying. So Vanderbilt is the type of person that's no pressure on him. All he has to do is play defense and just be. That's what I'm saying. Maybe on those other teams they was asking more of him. In this role, he know he's the fourth, fifth option, whatever. Because you got LeBron, AD, you got Schroeder, and then you might have he might be the fourth person. You know what I'm saying? But I just think that this is a breath of fresh air. Like that's what sometimes people need. Like even when you watch football, for the 49, being a 49er fan, that Christian McCaffrey trade was crazy. That's a different type of trade, you know what I'm saying? But just to get it at that particular moment. They always like when Von Miller went to the Rams 2 years ago. That's a game changer. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes look how the dude from the Giants, they traded Tony to the Chiefs. He was an impact. Tony, the wide receiver. You know what I'm saying?
From the
Ooh. Yo, did
you
you see
said
that dunk? Oh my God.
I guess that's coming up next.
Nah, that's crazy. He caught it
You
with the
said
left hand.
you said Tony to the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Giants had him and they traded him to the Chiefs this year. He won the Super Bowl with them. And he was doing
Um,
kick returns for the Giants. Something Tony.
oh,
Kavarius
that's
Tony or
Kenya Martin's
something.
son.
You saw that dunk. That dunk was crazy.
Yeah, that's Kenya Martin's son.
Shout out to Cam. I definitely fuck with Cam. I fuck with Cam Martin since Cincinnati. You know what I mean? That was my dude.
That's another guy built like that DNA. He broke his
He was
didn't he break both of his legs?
Well, nah, he broke his leg when he won College Player of the Year, and he came back and was just killing. Like he's a beast, man. I love Kmart. He's another dude that got better, got a little jump hook, got a little jump shot. He was fierce defender, fierce rebounder, and you don't want to play no games with Kenyon Martin. Kenyon Martin was not for play neither.
He was an enforcer. I like how he
Yeah,
talks about ball. I like when they asked him about he was on Colin Cowherd one time. He said Chris Paul was sneaky. Uh,
yeah.
he said they asked him about like analytics and just playing the game. He's like, bro, it's both. It's 50-50.
One of the
Like I
best
play
things
ball, but I'm
he
listening to what the scouts are saying. Like, come on now, you can't be ignorant.
one of the best things he said was, they said, what was the best thing you ever seen in your best moment? He said, watching my son make it to the league. Like, to see your son, someone that you're giving him input and he's making a way on his own. That has to be one of the best feelings in the world, you know what I'm saying? And like even being a fan of Kmart, Kmart was an all-star. He wasn't no slouch. Kenyon Martin was a problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And he's up there for the jerseys too. I think he got 5 jerseys. So he got the Nets. He got
Denver.
Denver. He got
The
New York.
Knicks.
Yeah, yeah, hold on. He got 5
Houston.
jerseys up. Yeah. Kenyon Martin got 5 on it. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you right now.
I think I got another name easily. And this guy had 3 jerseys in a matter of 3 days.
Patrick Beverly?
No. Or Patrick Beverly is king of the hill right now. Rasheed Wallace.
Yeah, he's definitely I got 5 on it.
He went from Portland to Atlanta to Detroit in a
He
3.
went from Irv to Jazz. now Vicky should man. That's what we gotta say about Rasheed Wallace.
You seen the interview when he interviewed the old referee, the cheating Donaghy?
Who? Rasheed Wallace?
Rasheed Wallace.
Nah, I didn't see that.
And he was like, "Yeah, we were targeting you, Sheed." But that guy, Dame had 59.
Dame Lillard is a problem though. He had 60. He got 69. The game is still on. He got 60 with 5 minutes left in the game. Shout out to Damian Lillard. Shout out to my man Dame Dollar. I love Dollars. I've been watching him since he was at Washington State. This dude is a problem. I love Dame. A world tour.
Listen, Kendrick Perkins, you gotta chill out, man. Kendrick Perkins gotta chill out. I'm glad he found his, he had a really good interview with JJ Redick though, because he broke it down. I like him. I like Swagoo.
Yeah, he's been on 5 teams. He's been on New Jersey, Denver, the Clippers, the Knicks, and Milwaukee. So he got 5 on it.
I don't even remember him on Milwaukee. That's crazy.
I do. That was 2 years. Like that was in 2020, I think. The 2020 or the 2019 season after the lockout. I mean, after the break from COVID.
What?
Yeah, I think that was it.
You know what? That's ill. To make a team?
Bro, listen to me. Just like T.O. I'm not saying T.O. could go out there, but I think T.O. could give you a good 10 to 15 snaps. Right now, T.O. could give you 10 to 15 snaps a game.
Well, he
could be a possession receiver in the end zone. That's what I always say. T.O. to me is my favorite wide receiver over Randy Moss because I seen T.O. do things. T.O. wasn't as gifted as Randy Moss, but one thing T.O. never lacked was playing. Sometimes Randy Moss took games off. T.O. always played hard. He always played hard, no matter if he was bitching or not. T.O. went out there and played. What he did on one leg for the Eagles in that Super Bowl, when he said he had to sign like a waiver or some shit to go out there, and he showed up.
Yeah. Nah, T.O. is a specimen. Ray Lewis and these guys, I don't know what they were popping either. You never know what they on. The hyperbolic chamber. What's in that chamber, Iron Man?
T.O. was different, bro. But a lot of people, they're supposed to help you recover, but you got to think about it. When you got money like this, you should be able to get stuff that's going to, make your career last longer. That's why some dudes take care of themselves. Like, I remember when shout out to TJ Houshmandzadeh, because I've been, even though, I've been rocking on Madden for years, but I've been liking or following Cincinnati as far as playing with them on the game for years. But TJ Houshmandzadeh was like, yo, after games of practice, I bring my ass home. He said, number one, I got everything I need at home. And he said, secondly, I'm not trying to lose no money. Dudes getting fined, getting fired, getting arrested. You got to pay lawyer fees for dumb shit. Take your ass home and chill.
That's always tough.
No, I'm not saying you can't have fun. It's just about if you got the right people around you, you're going to be able to do certain things and stay focused. Like Jason Tatum has his mom. She's not only his manager, she's his mom. She's there for him. She, when they had a son or whatever. You got OBJ and his mom. You know what I'm saying? You got people, people around you, LeBron James team. Look at these guys. You have to have good side. You can't do this by yourself. You can't have nobody that's going to put you in harm's way. Like, yo, let's go out to the club. And then both of y'all get drunk and y'all want to. He's not supposed to get drunk. He's supposed to make sure you're good.
Yeah. who's a designated friend over here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a lot of things that mess people up in this world, but it's like, shout out to all the people that got good people in their life that's legit want to see them succeed.
Absolutely.
Yo, Kendrick Perkins looked like Young Jeezy, younger brother, Kendrick Jeezy. And who's dressing Kendrick Perkins? Look at his suit. Why is his suit so shiny? That tie is horrible. He looked terrible up there.
Are we allowed to talk about Shanae, whatever her name is?
Shanae Googly Gay, what about her?
Her sister's nice.
Nah, Shorty right here was solid, but
I mean, she got the bubble.
Nah, she do got the fatty, but she's shaped like a rectangle though. She has no hips. She got them. Her knees kind of black though. Like them knees, she got to focus on them knees. She need to moisturize them knees a little bit more. You go wear a skirt. Nah, you go wear a skirt that short. Make sure your knees is good.
Well, her joint, yeah, the bubble is crazy.
She gonna have to get a what they call. She gonna have to get a she have to get a moi for her knees. A makeup artist for her knees.
Dame was 64.
That's crazy. Dame is crazy, bro. I love. Yo, you know what's funny? Ethan, if you see this, yo, my son Sway, Dame Lillard ain't nice. I'm like, Ethan, what are you talking? I said, Dame is one of the. He was like, da 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 da. I said, Ethan, I don't know what you talking about. And I told him, go ask your people about Dame. And I'm like, you think I'm lying? I said, I'm not gonna tell you someone's nice if they not. So I'm like, Dame Lillard is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
He's clutch. We've seen him hit clutch shots. He could put his position in. He can give you 70 points. He might have 70 again. This is like his fifth 60-point, 50-point game in the last 2 years.
He's tough. He's competitive.
Yeah, he got everything you want. As a franchise player, he got everything you want. He doesn't get in trouble. He represents his organization. He wants to win. He goes out there and plays. And no one also says this. Dame Lillard got way better from when he first got. He extended his 3-point. His 3-point distance is just as deadly as Steph's, and he didn't have that when he came into the league. He definitely expanded his game.
I wanna push. Oh, all right, because this is his class. Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving. Who else is in this conversation?
As far as best point guard or point guards?
Yeah, the last 7 years.
I mean, last 7 years you have to go Westbrook because he did win an MVP these last 7 years. You have to go James Harden because he did win an MVP these last 7 years. You have to go Steph Curry because he won a Finals and a Finals MVP. Then you got to put Dame Lillard up there because he's been putting it up. You can still say Chris Paul because Chris Paul did make a Finals 2 years ago. If you want to go like that, Kyrie Irving, of course, Kyrie Irving is up there because he's definitely a top point guard as far as he can give you over 25 points, over 5 assists. He can give you 40 if need be. So I guess I named all of them. You can probably say if that's the listing.
So who's in the top 3 out of those guys you just mentioned?
Right now, this season or last 7 years?
Well, the last 7 years, because I don't know if Dame is even top 3 right now.
So, Dame, hold up. I think Dame averaging like 30. Hold on.
He's probably, I mean, it's like 30 dudes averaging 30. That's the thing about this era. You talk about no defense. That's crazy. The West is going to be crazy in these playoffs. I can't wait. We might have every single series go 7 games. It's nuts.
Nah, I don't think so. I think the teams that should be blowing teams out and doing what they're doing eventually is going to be doing that.
You said Dame Lillard says?
No, I'm going in right now. I got you.
Okay. I'm going to go to the standings because I think, let me see.
Portland is behind the Lakers. They're in like the 12th seed.
Right. So I think in the West right now, yeah, they are.
Dame
They're 12.
Dame Lillard is averaging 31 points, 4.3 rebounds and 7.3 assists.
I think Kyrie's having the same.
Kyrie's averaging 26 or 25 or something like that.
I thought he's averaging. Well, maybe
But
earlier
yeah,
this year he's averaging 30.
but if you're going last 7 years, I would say the top point guard for me would be Steph Curry, James
Russ.
Harden.
You got Russ up there?
I would say Dame Lillard. I'll put Dame over Russ. Only because even though Westbrook won an MVP, Westbrook doesn't play smart like Dame does in crucial situations. You understand what I'm saying? The IQ is I'll go with Dame because he makes better decisions. And when Harden won his MVP, we saw that Harden was out there doing what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? And then Steph, he just won a championship this year and won Finals MVP. And he's averaging 30, 29. So I would say he's above those two.
I think Steph is the clear-cut number one because they're all. Kyrie clearly got a better handle.
But remember,
I said it from before.
Steph is always hurt though. For real, he's
Right.
missing games. You got to put that in there too. That's another reason.
Right, but when he's there, the year before, when they were saying, I couldn't believe people wrote him off. There's a lot of media guys, but when they wrote the Golden State Warriors off like that, I'm like, yo, Steph wasn't even healthy, and they were in the play-in. None of them guys were healthy. Steph was playing and came back, so he started bulking up. Steph is a different level. He's the focus and everything. He's a legend when it comes to all of that. The Tim Dungans of the world, Kobe, that level of focus, that's what Kyrie doesn't have. Dame Lillard, what's the difference between Dame and Steph?
The difference between Dame and Steph is that Dame doesn't have a Draymond Green and a Klay Thompson. That's the difference. Like when you talk about availability, Dame is available more than Steph. When you talk about the way they play the game, they both can shoot out the gym. As you can see, when he's having 60 points, he can move without the basketball. I've seen Dame do it. I think he averages more assists than Steph. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to look at it from that perspective. Like Dame Lillard doesn't have the proper pieces and or GM. Like look at Golden State. They know how to make the right moves. It's a good organization. They're making the moves because they're building around Steph. Portland, are you really trying to build around Dame Lillard, or is it that no one wants to go to Portland? Which one is it?
I don't think Dame Lillard is a better playmaker than Steph. I don't think he can run an offense like Steph. And I don't think he moves off the ball like Steph. Steph is so great off the ball. He's like Reggie Miller, Rip Hamilton, and probably better than them because they can't handle like him. They had to get the ball out of his hands because he's bringing the ball up, and they're going to throw a double at him and trap him at half court. Steph Curry, they take him off that and put him at the 2 guard, basically. Dame, I think, is more streaky.
We said last 7 years, right?
Yeah.
So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Since 2016, Dame Lillard has averaged 27 points, 27 points, 26 points, 30 points, 29 points, 25 points, 31 points. He averages for his career 25 points, 6.7 assists. But right now he's averaging 31 and 7. Last year he averaged 25 and 7. The year before that 28 and 7. The year before that 30 and 8. The year before that 26 and 7. The year before that 27 and 7. So he's basically averaging 27 points and 7 assists for the last 7 years.
It's more like 28 points, 27.8, 7 assists, 4.5 rebounds.
Yeah.
And here's the major difference. 90% from the free throw line is range, and Steph is still better than that, right? Shooting.
Yeah, Steph is. Yeah, because
Steph is 41%.
But hold on. Yeah, I'm looking at Dame's career for free throws is 89.5. That's damn near 90.
Yeah, and Steph is 90. Steph is 91. Yeah. But he's still 37% from three and 44%, damn near 45 from as a field goal percentage. Steph, the last 7 years, is shooting 47%.
From
That
three
is
or
really
from the field?
no field goals.
That's not good.
That's really good. You're a point guard. Point guards and guards don't normally do that.
Yeah, but if
Remember,
you're well, that's not true because Tony Parker 1 year averaged 50-something% field goal percentage.
I don't think he did. I think he was doing that for like half a
No,
season. But
Tony
if that
Parker did. Hold on,
okay,
I'm gonna
but
tell you right now. Hold on, let me look it up. Hold on,
go
hold
ahead.
on.
But even if that's the case, because with that being said, Dame was averaging 44%, damn near 45. Steph still eclipsing that. So those two
Yeah, no,
points,
I'm not saying Dame Lillard had to take. Dame Lillard field goal percentage should be higher. Absolutely.
yeah, not that it should be higher. It's just the difference between him and Steph. And then of course, the games missed. I would think that's the other part.
Yeah,
Steph missed. Damn.
in 2012, Tony Parker field goal percentage for the season was he did it multiple times. One time he did it. It was 52.2 in 2012. It was 51.9 in 2010. It was 52 in 2006, and it was 54 in 2005. Tony
And
Parker.
and for his career, it's 49%.
Yeah, that's damn near 50%. That's what I'm saying. Tony Parker. That's what I'm trying to say. Steph and Dame Lillard both should be at least 50% from the field because they can get to the basket, like
But they
Tony Parker. They're bigger than Tony Parker.
nah. But what do you
That's what I'm
exactly?
saying.
What do you think? Dame and Steph do with a Tim Duncan? You know what I'm saying? Oh, B Man is in the building. What's up, B? Hold up. Top five in the last seven: Steph, Harden, Dame, Russ, and CP3. Kyrie is right
That's
there.
pretty much what we said. Yeah.
Oh, Dame got 71.
That's what he does. I told you he was gonna have 70. I literally said that on the tape. Like that's dollars is a problem.
Yeah. What up,
And
B?
remember, you know
Yo, if
what
you
else
want to
people
hop in, let
forget?
me know. I'm gonna send him the
You know
joint.
what else people forget? What you call him left him. LaMarcus Aldridge left him to go to San Antonio and was a bum. He
I
should have
thought he
stayed
traded
with
for him.
Dame. Nah, he was a free agent when he went to the Spurs. He was a free agent. He should have stayed with Dame. That's what Dame missing. Imagine if Dame had Embiid or someone like Giannis, that big man. LaMarcus Aldridge at the time was averaging. He was giving you 18 to 20 points and like 9 to 10 rebounds in that stretch he was with Dame.
Yo, B, I'm gonna DM it to you, the link in Instagram. If you could hop on. He's probably at the, you know, undisclosed location.
Oops. But yeah, man, I definitely rock with Dame, but you know what I'm saying? It's just like I said. I just want to. I feel like the playoffs are gonna be super dope because the West is wild, wild. Anybody that get hot to me on the get hot at the right moment can take it. Here go Dame. They showing Dame.
Yeah, and as much as I complain about no defense, I just want to see some hand checking. That's all I want to see. Um, you got the zone in there. Like my man, shout out to my man Serge.
He had
We really, we
71
really,
points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists,
we really don't want to.
7-1-6.
We really don't want to see a 1993 level of style of play. It's very slow. I don't want to see Mark Eaton out there. I really don't. We really don't like Rudy Gobert. Let's be honest.
But I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think it has anything with the plea with the defense. I just think that the typical centers that were back in the 80s and 70s, they got super athletic in this generation. And it started with Shaq. When Shaq came out, Shaq was out here jumping. He could handle the ball. Then you got Anthony Davis, you got Joel Embiid. You got these big dudes that's able to handle. Look at what Joker's doing. If you That's the only thing. Those guys at the time was just super. So Bill Russell was running full court speed, but he didn't have no handles. Wilt Chamberlain was out there running just like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but he ain't have no handle. So imagine Kareem with a handle doing a sky hook from half court on you.
That's what he
You know what I'm
said.
saying? But now that's what Gilbert Arenas. Shout out to Gilbert Arenas because he's super funny at how he talk about the skill set. It's the skill set that changed. We're noticing that America took a lot of the European skill set. It's just that how Dirk was doing these things, and KD could do the same thing. He's damn near 7 feet. He could shoot the three. He could dribble the ball. He can also rebound and sometimes pass when you need. But just that, Dirk was from Germany. Look at when our Sabonis from back in the days, Arvydas Sabonis, he was doing the same, but he just came over here when he was 55 years old.
And he was still amazing. But the only thing with that is also, I don't think even if you don't put a zone defense in there and take out all these rules and don't enforce the traveling and the crossing over stuff like that, the dribbling rules, this doesn't happen either. Because these guys are traveling and carrying the ball every play. Because I always tell Dom this: if you really do call it like that, the game will be boring. Because
Yes,
there's too many people that can handle the ball.
Just like in football, it's always holding. There's always something. You're not gonna call it all the time. It's just the fact that if you make it that blatant, I gotta blow my whistle.
Well, I think also if you give them 8 seconds to be in the half court and there's no hand checking, you're forcing everyone to think about crossing half court. It's just a speedy game.
And just like when I was telling you before, remember how back in the days before the shot clock, John Havlicek had the ball for 30 minutes. That'll be so trash right now. This dude was dribbling for 15 days, bro. And going around in circles, like dribbling, like what are we doing? And that was the offense. I'm gonna keep the ball away from you, then I'm gonna throw it into Bill Russell at the last minute, and he's gonna score on you because he's the biggest guy on the court.
They had enough.
Imagine that.
That's why I don't like
pass it to Bill.
I don't feel Gilbert. I think Gilbert Arenas is trolling. I don't think what was he saying that I guess LeBron is the best. That's his opinion. That's cool, but it's when it comes to the skills, you couldn't do this back then. Like we talk about Kyrie and they couldn't go into 1980s and dribble the ball like that. So that means you just lost your skill.
I can't say that because Isaiah Thomas and Tim Hardaway, it was dudes back in the days that had handles that was doing the same thing. Isaiah Thomas was shaking the shit out of niggas and he was doing the same shit. Tim Hardaway, remember, Pistol Pete Maravich was out there. Tiny Archibald. It's always been dudes with handles. Even your man on the Knicks, Walt Frazier had a handle.
Okay, right. So, and Walt Frazier was a two-way player. But again,
that's what I'm saying. But to me, what I think changed, I said, I don't think it's the defense of the game. I think the typical players started doing things different. We had more anomalies. Like when you saw Shaq doing something at that athletic, it was like, yo, we've never seen nothing like that before. But after Shaq, remember Eddie Curry came, was kind of similar, but it didn't pan out properly. Then you had the dude that came, but he kept getting hurt. What's the guy that played for Ohio State that looked like LeBron and
Greg Oden?
Yeah, Greg Oden's another big. Look at Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis used to be a point guard, but he got big man. He got big man tendencies because he could post up because of his size.
Ralph Sampson was like that.
Absolutely.
But you just hit it on the head. There were anomalies. There wasn't 20 Isaiah Thomas. There was one.
You're right.
You weren't building around Isaiah Thomas.
But now we got 20, 30 in the league now.
Right, but what I'm saying is they weren't allowing you, as if all these ball players we talk to, they say the same thing. They come through and they say, yo, the coaching, the politics of it, you can't come in the game. And look at 20 years ago, they have a highlight of Skip Tamalu. He's up by 30. Milwaukee's up by 30. He does some fancy dribbling just to run out the clock. They still blow the whistle on him.
But this is what I'm trying to say. You got to understand also. That was back then. Is a lot of these companies now, these GMs, they're realizing it's also a show. This is not the NFL where dudes got helmets on, you can't see people. Dudes know who's in these jerseys. But my thing is, you have to give and take. Imagine if the league never changed. Imagine Isaiah Thomas playing the Lakers with that hurt ankle. All he had to do was dribble around in the circle for 30 minutes.
I mean,
and the score would have been 55-42. It would have been trash.
And then you see how the Pistons, Isaiah Thomas broke a lot of stuff down. He was saying how him and he doesn't know how the beef ended up with Mike when he held him down and everything like that. Okay, the Pistons are revolutionary in defense because they were basically playing zone defense.
Absolutely.
The Sonics in the 90s were playing zone defense. They were just breaking the rules. But he also said that the colorway thing, they started that. They were rocking like the Oakland Athletic, the Oakland Raiders.
Did you watch the Bad Boys 30 for 30?
Nah.
Maybe. In the 30 for 30 Bad Boys, they talk about that. They was coming through with different things, and that's why They for that little era, they were the Raiders of the NBA. They would have like those teams that was kind of like looked at as part of outlaws. But what people don't really understand is the Pistons was going out there and really, really not just playing defense. They had Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars, dudes that can give you buckets. They had Dennis Rodman, arguably a top 5 or greatest rebounder ever. And you had Chuck Daly, who at that time was a hard-nosed, old-school coach, no nonsense. They had, and remember, they had then you had Vinnie Johnson. You had what's the other dudes they had? The
Oh
enforcer
man,
dude.
Adrian Dantley, Rick
That's
Mahorn,
what I'm saying. Look
Mark
at that.
Aguirre.
Look at that team. They were that like I said, that was the perfect coach, perfect GM move, bringing certain players in. But people don't talk about them because they didn't like the roughhouse stuff. But a lot of teams was roughhousing.
Well, they had to get rid of the rules for Mike, and they were
Of
the logo for
course,
that. But
they
that's my thing with Gilbert Arenas. He just fought like with Rick Mahorn. Bill Lambert couldn't play today. It's like, no, but that's my point. You got players today that couldn't play back then. There's politics that would have kept them out. Think about it like this. All right, yeah, you do eliminate the Bill Lamberts, the Mark Eatons of the world that were playing back then. They don't play now. The rules say so. They're not around. That's cool. What I'm telling you is the rules back then, they eliminate anybody else who was trying to be Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas was special.
no. But what I'm saying is, I don't necessarily think they eliminated. You got to understand. I understand what Gilbert Arenas means. For so long, basketball was a big man sport. Michael Jordan changed that narrative when he started dominating as a guard. Everything was big man. That's why George Mike and the Dave Cowens, the Bob Pettits, all those guys were big forwards or big centers. The game changed when Michael Jordan was a wing player dominating. Then you had Scottie Pippen, then you got Grant Hill, so forth and so on, trickling down to where the game switched from being played in the paint to being played outside the paint. The NBA took the typical big man that's going to get 20 touches in the paint, slowing up the game. That's done. Because that's why the game changed. If we really sit down and watch it, how many times you watch certain teams and the offense looks horrible because it's just horrible offense?
That's
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
that's my beef with the '90s. The '90s is a bunch of fake bulls, a fake Michael Jordan. You have one superstar and everybody
Yes.
else. So when people try to, because me and two go back and forth about that, when they say, LeBron, the teams that he beat that were better than Jordan is those Spurs and those Golden State Warriors were better than anybody else that Jordan beat.
But
Yes,
I look at it.
but that OKC team and that Heat team that he beat, they're not in this
I look at
conversation.
I look at it as far as this. People always say Michael Jordan played with more competition. I'm not even talking about the finals. When you really look at the back in the '90s in the Eastern Conference, it was the Bulls and pretty much everybody else. You had the Pacers, you had the Knicks, you had the Heat, and maybe an Orlando, and maybe a Cleveland Cavaliers team. So there was only 4 other teams that you knew, okay, which one of these guys are the Bulls going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals? That's just real talk. Like, and
And
we all knew it.
let's not act like a couple years ago when Kevin Durant went over to Golden State. That's what it felt like when we watching the Bulls. I'm a Knicks fan.
Yes, yes,
It felt like
because
exactly what
because
you
they,
just said.
because you got to understand. And I'm gonna be honest. Growing up, anybody that knows me know I'm a huge Michael Jordan fan. That's my favorite basketball player. I love Michael Jordan. When you're a fan of something, when I'm 12, 10, watching these games, I'm just happy I'm a fan. But when you really look at it, they had Phil Jackson. We saw how he turned out. They had Scottie Pippen. We saw how he turned out. They saw what Dennis Rodman was doing for the Pistons. People forget Dennis Rodman won Defensive Player of the Year as a Piston. People don't talk about that. So he came with credentials. They also had Tony Kukoc, who considered was overseas as one of the greatest overseas players ever. They had Ron Harper, who, if it wasn't for injuries that robbed him of his career, but he still had his defensive flex. You know what I'm saying?
He's still a 6'6" point guard.
They
So
had
now
Craig.
your perimeter defenders in the second three-peat 6'6", 6'6", and 6'7",
Yes.
6'8".
Then
In the
you
'90s.
you kept the sniper. First it was Craig Hodges and Bill Paxson. Then once they left, you got Steve Kerr and Judd Bushler and all these guys that were snipers in the corner. But when you understand, everybody knew is who are the Bulls beating in the Eastern Conference Finals. There was really no deep talent. He only had to see Mitch Richmond twice a year. He played on Sacramento. He only had to see Gary Payton twice a year. He played on Seattle. He only had to see even Nate McMillan. He only had to see him twice a year because he was on Seattle. Like, that's what I be trying to talk about. When you look at the era, LeBron came in the league in 2003 when it was still Kobe. Kobe was in his prime. Kobe was only like 25 when LeBron came in the league. Paul Pierce, Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, those dudes were still in the league.
But it's not. That's not what. Because again, when I'm talking about competition, it's the teams. There is no competition like the '80s. The '80s is the best competition because you had 4 dynasties, damn near. It's the Lakers, the Celtics, the Pistons, off rip. Philly went to 4 championships. Houston went to 3? 1 in the '80s and 2 in the '90s. The Bucks were a really good team. The Bucks are basically on the same level as the Jazz in the late '90s.
Yeah,
the Bucks
I know
on the same level as the
Pacers.
Pacers.
The Bucks was decent when they had. I got Sidney Moncrief jersey.
Jack
Sidney
Sigma,
Moncrief
Marcus
was over
Johnson.
that. Yeah.
So when people say that when you compare the '90s was a drop off, 1993 is a different story. '93 is when it peaked and it fell off. But my point is that name the other dynasty teams in the '90s besides the Bulls. So you can't.
Once you take the Bulls out of the corporate, remember, because they won most of the championships in the '90s. Because after them, that's when the Spurs had their championship, and then the Lakers had their 3, and
but
then
that was late.
It was all. But that's what I'm saying. After the Bulls was 91, 92, 93, 96, 97, 98. So they're gonna completely dominate. But what I'm saying is, after they was the most dominant, it flip-flopped. It went from the Lakers to the Spurs, back to the Lakers. That's what I'm saying. There was no
there was no
the Bulls.
Seattle should have been a dynasty type of team. They underachieved. George Karl, he be talking crap on Twitter all the time to people. You got some nerve, dog. You put Gary Payton on Michael Jordan in game 3 or game 4, and we saw the stats. You ruined that Milwaukee Bucks team.
Nah, but remember, Gary Payton was honest. He said his ankle or something was bald. He wasn't 100%, but they had no choice but to put him on that late. Gary Payton admitted that he was like, I wanted to play Michael Jordan, but I was injured.
Okay, so how do we explain the 1994 when they lost to Denver?
Bro, listen, listen.
The first
You're
time.
right. Listen. I'm not sitting here saying George Karl isn't at fault, but what I'm saying is every coach has their ups and downs. Every coach who has sometimes muffled the talent. You know what I'm saying? But George Karl, but everywhere he went, though, they made the playoffs, though.
They're a good team. Yeah, that's just like Don Nelson. Don Nelson is not even talked about on the same level as Phil Jackson and these guys, and that's crazy. He got like 3 or 4 Coach of the Year awards.
Bro,
Don Nelson was coaching the Bucks, Golden State,
Don Nelson found
Dallas.
Dirk. Don Nelson found Dirk, bro.
He recruited him. He scouted him.
Yeah, he's the one that won the Dirk. Don Nelson, yes, he was there. Remember, he was Dirk's first coach.
Right. Yeah, and then he went to Golden State and beat them.
Yeah.
So he was a guy's ahead of his time. You know what I mean? Like that's a guy that if he would have had
he didn't win the championship. That's the only thing that they'll
right. But can you blame him? Who again? When you have a coach, a great coach lined up with a great player, any sport, you name it. In football, it's really like that. Once you have a great quarterback and a great coach, it's over. They're contending for championships. In basketball, it's the same thing. Yeah. Duncan and Popovich, you just name it. Don Nelson never had that guy. Him and Chris Webber bumped heads. You know what I'm saying?
Again, like we said, like we was talking about earlier, it's about fit, bro. Think about it. It's about the fit of the situation. Like, you got to look at it. Like, imagine if Phil Jackson would have messed up Jordan and Pippen or Kobe and Shaq. You understand what I'm saying? Like, imagine if LeBron James had Phil Jackson. Like, it's all about, so sometimes things work out and they don't. Like, it's been plenty of people that's had great opportunities, but sometimes it just don't work out. You know what I'm saying? And that's why when you look at Quinn Snyder going to the Hawks, I like Quinn Snyder. And they said that Donovan Mitchell talked to Trae Young the other day, like, yo, he's a great coach. He's going to push you. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying? Because Trae Young is the centerpiece. He's the superstar. young superstar player on that team. I like that coach for him because he's a solid coach and he's a winner. Remember, people forget he was coaching. What team he was coaching? He was coaching. Did he coach Sacramento and somebody fired him and that's how he got to Utah or something? But he's a solid coach.
He played the league too, right?
Quinn Snyder, yeah, I believe so. And remember, he had Utah in the #1 seed 2.5, 3 years ago.
He coached the Clippers. No, yeah, assistant coach in the Clippers, Philly, Lakers, and Atlanta. No, he coached Utah his entire career for 8 years.
Oh, I thought he got. You know who I'm thinking about? I was thinking about the dude. He was coaching the. I forgot who he was. I confused him. My fault.
I wish you would say like where they ended up at. Well, he has a 58% winning percentage. 72 1 year, 61, 62 in his third season in the league.
Yeah, he's a solid coach. Like I said, he's a solid coach. I like Quinn Snyder.
It's always a thing about. I mean, like.
Nah, Nicholas Batum got to chill. Yo, he looked like somebody slapped him in the back of his head. Why does his head look like that? My man got the retard head. Like, what's up with your man Scoopy, bro? Look at this idiot in his fucking Westbrook uniform.
We gotta watch the R word. We'll get banned.
For real?
Yeah. The R word is crazy on it.
Oh, okay, my fault.
Nah. Let's hopefully just let it slide. Who is this guy in a with the West? You said with the Westbrook jersey?
Yeah, looking like a fucking. Sit your ass down. Someone need to slap him in the back of his fucking head. For real, sit your ass down.
He look like a Lego man. What is yo?
Hold on, wait a minute. You said the R word is crazy, but we can say the N word and that's cool.
Yo, that's what they say. That's what they say.
That's the point.
Yeah.
That's
what
sucker.
What's your man from he just went to the Bucks right now?
Oh yeah, Miles Leonard. Yeah, look exactly. Now he snuck his way back in there. He peekabooing back in the league.
Hold on, but that was about the Jewish media. Shout out to the Jewish media, by the way.
He popping up like it's Christmas.
But because they showed their true colors, because they said, "What are you guys talking about? We don't run anything," and they just
let me
tell you $3 billion.
Listen, we staying away from that type of. That's the stuff that we staying away from. Forget the R word.
Shout out to my crew.
Forget the R word.
But hold on, but that's what Miles Leonard got caught doing.
I know the situation. I understand. That's what I'm saying. But we know that there's certain things that you just can't say and you just can't do nowadays. It's touchy.
Right. So how did he say it and he's back in the league? And we
know why.
He got the complexion for protection as my man. Go ahead.
What happened? It sound funny?
I get you.
Oh, now we know why he back in the league, but you know what I'm saying? Then you gotta look at what Kyrie did. Kyrie, he did it when he sent it out. This dude said something. It's a different. You're sending it out to the masses. Yeah. Or whatever. Like to me, either way, I didn't agree with the whole situation. I think it's way worse things out here being said and done, and it's been that way for years. But we just, like you said, it's just certain things you got to slide away from.
And I think Kyrie, he messed up where that guy, that reporter is an antagonist for the Nets. So if he's the same guy just picking away at you after every game, it's like Nick Friedel, something like that. I wish Parthon was on here, and Nick Friedel's always on ESPN. So you got this guy who's just an agitator as a reporter. And you might have slipped up and tweeted that out, and somebody saying, "Well, what do you mean by that?" If they have this thing at their hand, all he's trying to say is, "Bro, I'm a black man with pride. I think the humanity started in Africa. Point blank. Period. I think the original Jews were black. Period. That's all I got to say. No disrespect to anybody else, but it
But
was like you're going back and forth with that
bro,
guy. So it's not
and
even a beef with anything else, but that guy really.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I wasn't there. That's the thing. People keep saying who was here first and that was this and that. I don't care about none of that. I was born in 1980. So it's 1980 down for me. So I don't know nothing about that. People be so focused on all that stuff. Like, bro, like we no one really truly knows where someone came from, because if the person who was there could tell us, they'll be in the circus, because they'll be the oldest person in the world. I wasn't there when the Bible was written. I wasn't there. Who wrote the Bible? But these are the stories that you grow up learning and reading. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when I woke up, when I was born, I was in St. John's Hospital in America, in Brooklyn. I wasn't nowhere else.
And that's part of it. To be that adamant about anything like that, and we know it's triggering. And at this point, though, Kyrie's too old. You're 30, and it's like if it was the first time, we'd be like, all right, Kyrie.
Now,
But
first of all, everybody, your man Kyrie come back with shout out to the Native Americans, because I got Native Americans in my family. Your man was burning sage. It was a lot going on. Your man started, wearing what you call those things, ponchos and all that. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm
his
saying?
mom was accepted by the Native American tribe.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, if he found, that's what I'm saying. All that stuff is cool, but it's just certain things you shouldn't do. I think that the situation was kind of blown out of proportion, but he should have just known better. Like you said, there's certain things you just can't do, that you shouldn't put yourself in those situations.
And
That's all I'm saying.
stop acting like you're not imposing yourself. Like the same way you feel like people are imposing on you. You basically
Like
like nobody's doing that on TV. And it's
like like Hove
revolutionary.
like Hove said, and to the old head, stop acting like Tupac and have his nose ring too. He said that on Family Feud. Like, you know what I'm saying? How people look at people like, oh, but Tupac had a nose ring and nobody thought he was soft, and nobody thought whatever. Everybody's different. You know what
Well,
I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I think that's the thing with the kids too. Like, I got caught up in that with the drill music, and something else happened with the internet. I'm like, yo, hold on a second. We're being way too judgmental with this generation,
no, the
because
only
it's up to us to have been preparing them with this since we were born in it. We saw the
nah,
transition from playground
but
to
but
internet.
I don't think of it as that. I say it like this: every generation gonna think their music was good or bad. There's people, remember when the Marilyn Manson came out, oh, he's devil worshiping. They try to crucify him, right? But
Mm-hmm.
when people shoot up schools and they listen to certain music, are they listening to hit them up before they go shoot something up? Or are they
Right.
listening to Marilyn Manson? But what I'm saying is the point that I'm saying is about the whole situation with the music is, when you go watch a movie and they're shooting up, like when you watch Heat, they having a big shootout in the middle of the street. They still show it in movies, right? So if someone get on the microphone and talk about something, the difference between drill music is they're talking about real people that lost their life and put in the business in the internet world. Of course, people who lost their friend, their brother, their cousin, they go to feel away because you're mocking the dead. When Easy E and NWA was dissing each other, I mean, when Ice Cube and everybody was dissing each other, yeah, they were saying things, but it wasn't like, yo, your man died and I'm at his graveside doing something wild. That's the only difference. Like, they're doing things that people are really losing their life because you're doing something disrespectful on purpose. You're blatantly turning on your camera and saying F such and such.
But I think it's a sign of the times, and I think it's just art imitating life, because that's what they're really doing. I think they really do that. Like, at this stage, with where the street is at, is way different than back in the day in terms of the leadership. There isn't any, like, who's there to check anybody to do that?
Well,
Nobody.
but at the
Like,
same
these
time,
fake leaders.
but at the same time, was it really being done back then? What I'm saying
It
is,
couldn't be, because there were people were getting checked.
but this is what I'm saying. When we were younger, people were getting murdered in broad daylight. It's just
Yeah.
the only difference is, with the internet, people are getting faster access to seeing this destruction.
That's
You
the
could.
thing that nobody's talking about with Facebook. They had a third party, I used to say like a filtering group. They would sit down and watch like the stuff we see that makes it that these kids on the drill rap and stuff that they're bragging about.
I'm
The
gonna
stuff
take
that
you.
makes it, that's what we get to see. It's
I'm gonna
even
take it.
worse. Hold
I'm
on,
gonna
they were
take it.
saying on Facebook that what they would filter out was incest, people getting their eyes gauged out, stuff like that in the Middle East. The Middle East is
Yo, bro.
crazy.
And I'm gonna tell you that reminds me back in the days of our era when we was watching Faces of
Faces
Death.
up. Yep.
You only saw that. Yo, I remember they were showing wild stuff on it, but it's getting so bad that anyone has an Apple phone, whatever phone you got, when someone's bleeding or getting beat up, the first thing people want to do is film it. That's what I'm talking about. So imagine all those bodies that was popping up in the 80s and 90s. We from New York. When that crack era hit, imagine if you could see people when people was outside. Imagine if you saw certain shootouts that took place because people have phones. You understand
Right.
what I'm saying?
You're
That's the
right
only difference.
because
Is just that
no,
the
yeah, you're right.
internet.
You're right. You have access. You have access to produce the content and display it and all
And
that.
think
But
about
you
this. Hold
also
on.
got people lying, acting like, oh, so if you don't want to see that, why is it on everybody's phone? Why is it
What's
so
that?
popular then?
What's that app you can go on? The Citizen app,
Citizen
and it
app.
could be like, oh, it's letting you know it's gunshots and stuff, and this and that. Like, why we don't need if we don't need to know that stuff. The cops need to know that stuff so they could be in those areas more so per se. But everything they got cameras on the bus now. You see people on the bus getting beat up. They got cameras in the train station now. All that stuff we didn't see when we was younger. People was getting beat up and robbed all the time in the train station.
My man, shout out to Ryan Hammer Time. He always said it. He said, "Yo, the United States, the world is turning into a whole third world country because now
Yeah.
everybody's getting to witness a new crime, a new
Yes.
violent act."
And you know what it is? New America is late. They show nudity on European TV already. They cursing on TV already. They've been doing that stuff. It's just now coming to us now because when you watch cable, I'm watching the show Yellowstone. They showing nudity, they cursing, and this is regular TV. It's not HBO Cinemax.
Oh,
The whole world is changing. Like you go overseas, it's natural for people to be naked and cursing over there. That's just how it is.
Howard
America's the
Stern, Howard Stern was saying that about 10, 12 years, even longer
yeah.
than that. He was saying like,
Remember,
yo, they're saying bitch on TV. This is crazy.
yeah.
Remember, he came
America,
up in an era where George Carlin, there's 7 words you can't say on
yeah.
television.
America wants to censor this stuff. That's why I always say, when you go on your TV to program your TV, they put parental advisory up there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how come I can't censor other stuff I don't want to see? What if I don't want to see certain things that pop up on my TV or certain ads or entertainment? They don't let you do that though.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because its money still has to be made.
But I think again that's the difference. It was a bit more conservative, and it's like the older you get, you realize you got to play the bad guys in the dope.
Yeah.
I got to tell you what to do. This is just my job. You got to be the bad guy for your kids. It is. Don't ask me what I did
And,
when I
and
was
then and then and
15.
then and then people always say leadership, leadership. What about those people who do have leadership, that have good parents, but they still want to go outside and be a thug? What about those people who uncle was a gang member? They're a gang member. Their mother's a gang member. Their big brother's a gang. Some of this shit is hereditary. Some of
Yeah.
this stuff they've been going on forever because you can't help who your family is. You understand what I'm saying? So if you born in a situation, you grew up in a Crip neighborhood, you grew up in a blood neighborhood, you grew up in a whatever situation is, we don't know people things. But at the end of the day, I just think that the media always want us to see this, but they don't. Because remember, those same videos that the news stations edit out, like you said, they watch them before they tell us this is very graphic, we're not going to show it to you. They see what's going on, and they still put it on TV.
Yo, Mike Malone looks like your man from Goodfellas, Ray Liotta.
Nah, he don't look like Ray Liotta. He looks like somebody, but I can't get the name. He definitely looked like he go play a detective in New York Undercover back in 1994. This is Detective Malone right here. But yeah, man, it's just sad. Like I said, like I know I'm from the crack era, and we know back then it was bodies, it was a lot of stuff going on that was going on. But imagine if we was able to be home and see certain things that we heard about in our neighborhoods or didn't. What about the stuff that we heard and saw that never made the news?
Because it's nowhere near as bad as the 80s. The murder rate was insane.
We were the capital at one point where it was like you turn on the TV, they like on in 1988, 1990 it was 1,500 murders in New York type shit.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
more.
I'm just using it as an example. I'm just saying.
Right. So, but I guess what, like you said, what it seems scary is that it's on a Citizen app, and we get to see it. We go, yo, this is right here on 42nd and First. What?
But also, I do you one even better. Think about all the murders that they turned into manslaughter, so the numbers don't look that high. You know what I'm saying? Because manslaughter it doesn't sound as bad as a homicide. Yo, thousands of people get killed every day. These places want you to think they safe because New York is a tourist place. You can't really have them. It's 5,000 people got killed in New York. They're not gonna put the real numbers up there, but they're gonna do what they remember. This is a business. You gotta look at it like that's why when COVID hit, they trying to rush people to do this and rush people to do that because they want to make that money back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Same reason why Giuliani was he locked the city up.
Yeah, man. When Giuliani, one thing about Giuliani, I would say this. He cleaned up 42nd Street to get that money. Because I remember when I used to be on those trips looking at those porn stores where there was porn everywhere. All you see is XXX and this and that. He came up in there, especially after that last shootout in that arcade that was on 42nd. It was like a shootout. He came and cleaned that up. And now you got all these places over. You got movie theaters. You had the Lion King over there. None of that was there in the 80s, early 90s.
That was on the Giuliani. I think that was on when Many Men came out.
That was on Giuliani. That was under Giuliani.
When Barcode got shot. You talking about?
No, not Barcode. The arcade. Barcode was on like 45th. I'm talking about the arcade that they turned it into something on 42nd Street. This was in like 1993, 94. It was a big one. Some young kid got killed. It was a big shootout in the 90s, and that's when Giuliani came in and turned everything around.
See, I was too young because the older dudes were telling me like they were selling guns and everything on 42.
Yeah, bro. I remember. I don't know if you remember, because in Brooklyn when they was doing this, when Giuliani made the curfew, you had to be home by 8 o'clock or something. Like in 93 or 94, yeah, it was a curfew.
Damn,
when the blood started cutting people, when they was cutting people.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like he tried to set a curfew on. It didn't really last, but for like a week or so, you had to be home before 8 o'clock or some shit like that. Even when I was in high school, this was like 95, 96.
You know what's crazy? The only name we ever heard was like OG Mac with the Bloods growing up. That's the only name I ever heard.
And because allegedly, wasn't he the dude that brought it over here, kind of, sort of?
He was like all them guys that was on Queens Flip. I didn't know who they were. They were.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know who them dudes were. But it seems like this, like how everything else starts. It was the 3 or 4 dudes. They were at the bottom of the jail, the bottom of Rikers Island, and they were cutting everybody. One of them's actually Dominican. One kid's from Brownsville, but they started just by cutting everybody, and they clicked up. So it really started because the Spanish people in Rikers,
I know about
outnumbered them.
Pistol Pete was running the yard,
right? So they were saying that you had the Muslims, you had what was the other thing? God Body.
You got the Muslims, you have the Aryan Nation.
Right. But I'm saying that for black people. So they had to click up, and it became blood because the old school guys used to say the word, young blood or whatever. But OG Mac just happened to be around.
Yeah.
And he used that book that Monster Cody wrote, I think it was, or somebody that was in the 8 Trade gang in the West Coast. Yeah. That's why it made no sense. Right, because Monster Cody's a Crip.
But you also got to remember, that's when people forget. That's when New York started changing. Remember, they went to the gang culture, and now they're doing the drill culture from Chicago. That's when stuff started changing. Because I know growing up, I'm from Brooklyn, so the only gangs we heard about was the D-Sec,
Jelly Stompers,
the the Tomahawks, and all that. But then the Bloods and the Crips came around. Like I'm from Albany Project, so my project was a Blood project. but 2 blocks down on Brooklyn going towards New York is where some of the Crips was.
Damn, that was Mason Plumlee yanded on him?
Oh, nah, Mason Plumlee with the block.
Oh, that was a block.
Yeah. But yeah, like this whole, like I said, man, it's just that I just think that everybody got too much access right now. And the way that we're going, you're going to be able to see anything soon. Like soon as it's going to be free.
What? But going back to that point, all right. So you had that blood movement going on. OG Mac did whatever he did in jail, and he influenced these guys. And now so much so that he turned the Crip book into a blood book in jail, right? So now it got into the street. And not only that, that's why I say music is influential, because Snoop and them really did bring. Snoop made it cool to be a gangster, look like gangbanger, bro. That's what it was. It's in the music, it's in the air, and now you combine that with a movement. Now it's in the air. You got the Bloods in New York. That never happened before.
Yeah, but remember, who made it cool to be a drug dealer? There was no rap songs about selling crack at first. When crack hit, it came out after the fact.
In the 80s.
That's what I'm saying. Remember,
almost banned Kool G Rap.
But Kool G Rap was in the 90s.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, I look at it like this. Music to me, like you have to go back to movies. When you watch a movie, you're not going out and killing nobody. You're not going out and doing these things. Like, yeah, we like a certain type of music, yeah, but I'm smart enough to know that this is someone rapping.
But I think movies is different, because movies you get to watch for 2 hours, The Godfather, whatever it is. Music is playing all day long.
No, I'm not talking about The Godfather. I'm talking about movies where you see violence.
Yeah.
When you're seeing dudes getting shot in their melon. You're seeing people getting their arms chopped off. You're seeing nudity. You're seeing rape. You're seeing sex. You view that, but they don't stop showing it.
Right, but even right now, with like we just said, with Instagram and everything, now that's like a real crazy movie role. And you're seeing it all day long. All you see on Instagram is ass and gunshot and whatever it is that's on your Instagram scroll. That wasn't like that back in the day, because you were separated from your television. You would go home, you would watch TV, we go to school, there was no TV.
Yo, I put it on thing because I got up to use the bathroom, but I hear you.
Yeah. There was a separation with all that. The news came on later for a little bit more violence. But the music, like you said, it was Kool G Rap, Schoolie D, and NWA. Schoolie D, he put the whole West Coast on with that style, but that was really still underground. So it was still not celebrated and wasn't a culture. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't just Snoop with the gangbanging. You add that to a real movement from jail. That changes everything, because now you have people that, remember, jail is different. Jail is highly influential.
Jail is different, but the gang culture was out before rap. That's what I'm saying.
Well, gang culture, if you like, these guys are not getting their props from the Bronx, with the Bronx, where rap really started. Hip hop started in Bronx.
Yeah, in the Bronx.
And it was the gangs.
Wasn't it Melly Mel? Melly Mel?
Nah, it wasn't
Melly Mel.
It wasn't Kool Herc.
Yeah, from Sedgwick Avenue, Kool Herc.
Yeah, it didn't start there. He got it from the Bronxdale. It was Africa Bambaataa and this dude named DJ Disco Mario, and nobody talked about this. DJ Disco Mario, and they said Jamaicans had something to do with it. They did not. They didn't borrow that style from Jamaicans. The way they set up their speakers, the Jamaicans copied it. DJ Disco Mario is from Bronxdale, and they had that park, I think it's called Rosedale, in front of the projects, in Soundview still. So the reason why he was able to travel back and forth was because you had the Black Spades back then that were a gang. So they were only formed apparently because you had the Italians on, I forgot what avenue that was, beating up black people, and they started protecting each other. Of course, that's the story. Maybe it's a fairy tale, who knows? But what's not a fairy tale is that the Black Spades, helped them go from party to party. Then Africa Bambaataa jumped in.
But you could also say that all these gangs, they first start, it seems like it's for the right reason. And that's what people were saying back in the 60s when it started. That at first it was just, we're protecting our block from outside people. But then it turns when the violence started. When the Blood got killed for his jacket in LA, that's what set everything on fire.
Raymond Washington.
Yeah, when everything happened like that, but it always starts off nice. That's what I'm trying to say. The gang culture, there's different gang cultures. The Black Panthers were a gang, but they were an organized unit, but it was a gang of people, but they wasn't going out killing and stuff. They were more so to protect yourself. The problem is that people that can't fight, people that's not tough. They get in these gangs. They get behind all these people. They can't take an ass whooping. Everybody doesn't want to look embarrassed. I've been beat up before. I've been jumped. We've all been through that. That's life. But that don't mean you pussy. That don't mean you got to get a gun and pop a nigga. And then when you go to jail, you go to snitch on everybody in your clique. So what's the sense of being a gangster? But that's the problem. When you a gangster, you don't have to talk about it. It's going to come from you. There's dudes that stand up out here, that stand up, that do what they do, like, fuck it, I'm all the way in. And then you got the dudes that when you see them eating their McDonald's in the holding cell, you know they snitch. They got 3 barbecue sauces and 20 nuggets. They done told. Come on, man. Everybody's not built to be tough, bro.
It's also, I don't think that it's exclusive to a race or anything like that. I think
Absolutely
it's exclusive to a class.
Corny, and sucker and all that is no exclusion.
Right. So I think that all that sucker, corny shit that happens in the upper class, they're just connected to, let's say, judges or whatever. You think these guys don't have kids doing dumb shit like you just said?
Absolutely.
They want to be tough.
Think about this. You know how many kids? So there's someone kid right now that is at MIT sniffing coke right now. Right now, there's some judge's son, there's some Congress's daughter getting gangbanged out there because she want to do that. Yes, like look at Betty Ford, the Betty Ford Clinic. His daughter was a drug addict. They named a rehabilitation center after his daughter because she couldn't put down the booger sugar. Shout out to my best friend Kareem who says booger sugar. She couldn't put down the booger sugar. Look at the Kennedys, how they covered up the rape and all that when one of the cousins did something and all that. This has been going on for years.
Yeah.
That's what it is. When you got money, they cover it up.
Right. So that's the difference. I think there's gangs in the upper class, but they just if you get too wild, they send you to the military.
We know what the biggest gangs are, but a few of them we can't say on the air. There's a lot of gangs out here, bro. We know who the gangs are. We know who the original OGs is out here.
But I love it because, again, that's where we're supposed to, that's the politics of everything. Like, we're always going to talk about, I think we're going to always circle back to this because, we're watching the Clippers game. They just caught up to them.
Yeah, they down by 4. It's a lot of time left, too.
And it's always going to come back to that, because this is what we talked about earlier. This is what I'm Broke Baby is going to be about, or it is about. We're just recording us from the bottom to the top.
IBB. This is the IBB cast. That's what we are. IBB. We trying to be professional. You see the silhouette of my man down there, but we the IBB cast. You know what I'm saying? We are trying to change our situation. You know what I'm saying?
We are changing it, just connecting the dots, bridging the gap, because there's so many people. You'll be so amazed how many people online just want to help each other because they're like-minded, and really, you just want to make history. You only got one life to live, and these kids be on it. That's the other thing. Yo, I'm regretful about not going forward as an 18-year-old, just utilizing the internet. These kids are just jumping online, pressing the button, and they're going.
Yeah, but remember, it was different when we was coming out. It was still new. It was unsure. Everything takes time and everything takes progression. You know what I'm saying? Like, certain things you didn't have access to. Because I know when I was growing up, I didn't have no computer. I didn't get a computer until I brought my first laptop when I was 25. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things now. Imagine if we was in school when COVID hit. Our parents didn't have no internet, couldn't afford no computers. We would have been, how was we going to learn? You know what I'm saying? If you had a computer, that means you have money.
But there's still a certain type of hustle that people have just in general, and everybody's not. It's not easy to put yourself on camera either to go and do this all the time. Everybody doesn't. But we just talked about it earlier. It's a maturation process with that, and it's not because it's not natural.
I'm just trying my best not to look stupid on camera. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to sit here like, damn, I got this stupid ass stain on my t-shirt. Like, you just want to look presentable. Like, I'm in my living room right now and say, I think I got a decent backdrop. You don't see nothing that looks crazy. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when we was younger, we wouldn't have been able to do this per se because we didn't have the technology. Now, because we're in 2023, it's easy for someone to start an LLC. It's easy for someone to record something because every phone has a camera. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Trust the process.
B-Man still in an undisclosed location. And again, but hustle to me is being consistent, and then like you just said, learning from it. Like you just gotta learn and move, because nowadays it's gonna move so fast.
What Jay-Z say on whatchamacallit? What's the name of that song? Damn, I hate when I forget the song. When he was like, I lost 30 mil, so I spent another 30, because unlike Hammer 30 million, you can't hurt me. Yeah, you see what people do ahead of you. Like everybody's gonna make mistakes. My thing is this: it's not about making mistakes. Like everyone if you're not rich or don't have access to resources, no one's just gonna come on the set fly. Like all these podcasts that we've been watching over the past 2.5, 3 years. I remember when Nori joint was in a closet, basically. When he did that LL Cool J episode, it was real tight in that room. Now he got a big set because he just did what he did. Like, we don't got so Paul, thank you. I hate when I forget stuff, but yeah, when Jay-Z said that, what he said, like, that's what it's not even about getting old. It's just the fact that it's just so much in my head about Jay-Z, but it's just the fact that I know the fact that everything takes time. Like, I don't expect, I'm just going to wake up and I'm going to be a millionaire. Hell no. Nobody knows me. I'm broke. No one cares nobody wants my autograph, and that's cool. That's good. Because I don't want to be famous. I just want to be able to be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? I always say I don't care about being famous or rich. I want to be comfortable.
I keep looking at the computer instead of looking at the camera. Yeah, that's
And then some niggas is ugly. I'm not saying I'm the best looking guy in the world. I'm ugly to everybody, but a lot of people can't be on camera because they just ugly. Nobody want to sit up there and look at somebody ugly like, damn, this nigga look crazy. Another big local, courtesy of Actually I Never Ever Had. Another. My man Ving Rhames getting checks. He in the Arby's commercial with the voice. That's his voice.
Is Shanae's sister? I don't even know her name. With the Michelob commercial. Is that a ball player next to her too?
I don't know who that. I just saw Jimmy Butler and her. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention, honestly. Jimmy Butler looking stupid. And they need to change Jimmy Butler picture on the NBA. Go look at his picture.
I know it.
He looked like one of them dudes from Mark for Death, an extra from Mark for Death.
Why did
he had them dreads?
Why did he show up to the scene like that? That was silly.
Nah, remember he was putting the dreads in it. But what I'm saying, why the NBA take it down? It is damn near February and that picture's still up there. The league is wrong for that.
He took you gotta take a picture every season at the beginning of the season. He took it like that.
No, but what I'm saying is they could always edit out the hair and use an older picture. That's all I'm saying. They wrong for that, bro.
No, Jimmy Butler was wrong for putting that on in the first place. What is he doing?
Yeah, no, he was.
He thinks he's in belly.
Nah, he thinks he's Melly Vanelli. That's Melly Vanelli Butler right there. But he looks stupid.
Shout out to all my people on put it in perspective. We be getting a lot of people coming through.
Shout out to all my people out there wearing fake dreads like Jimmy Butler. That's what we used to be shouting. He looks stupid in that shit. Just because you an NBA player and got bread, bro, you look dumb with that shit in here. You look crazy.
Listen, man. Your man Braun, he's been wearing weaves for 10 years now.
Listen, I don't know what Braun got in his head, but I don't know. He got some bullshit up there, but at least his hair don't look like KD. KD looked like he got a kufi on with that bald spot, bro. KD got to chill. His hair looked terrible. KD, you got too much money for your hair to be looking like an old SOS pad, bro. Get that together. And that beard line, he got that nappy beard line looking like Samuel Jackson when he was naked in Long Kiss Goodnight in that barn. He got to chill, bro.
They're both ballers, though, right? They both like to play basketball, so we can't be mad at that. It's not, again, I hate to break it to y'all. It's not like Ben Simmons trying to get fly for nothing to sit on the bench. I'd rather.
Bro, my thing is this. If I know I'm not playing, at least I can come looking right. Bro, you got that Scully on your head like you about to break in someone's car, bro. He looks like a burglar. He looks like one of the Bugle boys. He looks like Kevin Durant Bugle, like with that Scully on.
K Bugle.
Yeah, come on, bro.
That was crazy.
You got too much. If that's the case, get a Baldy. You got enough money to go to Bosley. Get you a fake hair. Get you some fake hair, KD. You understand what I'm saying?
I don't even want to laugh. Yo, my son earlier said, "Yo, hey, Dad, you have the worst laugh I've ever heard ever." I said, "Yo," I said, he said, "It reminds me of this laugh I read about in this book." I said, well, "How do they describe it?" He said it was horribly. I said, "Yo, go to your room."
Damn, your man
He
shitting
had
on
me
your
crying.
laugh.
Yo,
Damn,
he said the worst laugh ever.
that's crazy.
I've never heard anyone laugh like that.
Clippers down by 2. 5 minutes left.
Do we believe?
Hold on. How many teams Gordon been on? Let me see if he on the I got 5 on the list.
Which Gordon?
Eric Gordon.
Oh yeah, Houston, Clippers.
Hold on,
Who he get drafted by? Indiana?
I'm about to tell you right now. Eric Gordon, how many jerseys you got, bro?
He went to Ohio State, right?
Yeah, I think so. He got 1, 2. He got 1, 2, 3. He only got 3 jerseys, so you're on the almost home list. He only got 3 jerseys. He was with the Clippers, the Pelicans, and the Rockets, and back to the Clippers again. This is his second time around with the Clippers.
I don't even remember him on the Pelicans.
I do.
Is he a bust? Was he a top 10 pick, Eric Gordon?
Yeah, he might be on, but he might be on that. He on Bus City.
Because I remember him he's supposed to be a sharpshooter.
Shout out to Popeye Jones, but he looked like the dude from the Goonies. Popeye Jones?
Yeah.
He's definitely top 5 ugly.
Popeye Jones is coaching.
Yo,
somewhere?
Russell Westbrook looked like Little Mama mixed with Little Bow Wow. No, he's an assistant coach for the Clippers.
Nah, Russell Westbrook does not look like.
Russell Westbrook looks like Little Mama mixed with Little Bow Wow, bro. Russell Westbrook looks stupid.
He looks crazy.
Oh, nice pass. There we go. You got to hit that shot, bro. Why is everybody on the ground? Uh-oh, and 1. Tie game. Well, he took the lead, I mean. Paul Freud.
I'm gonna get my new cable box, man. This is horrible.
Well, I mean, you're still gonna have a delay regardless. One of us gonna have a delay.
No, mine is connected online.
That's what I'm saying. Remember, online stuff is live, but it has a delay because it's live. So it has to be live, and then they're gonna get it, and that's how you're seeing it. We're seeing it live. Y'all have a delay on yours.
Yeah. But if I get it like yours is connected to the wire still, right?
But we'll still have a delay because we're in 2 different areas. So that means you may see it before me, or I may see it before you still.
It may happen.
Yeah. It's very rare that when you see stuff at the same time because we're on the phone with each other. Now, even if we was on a landline, I think it would be the same way. Like back in the days, if we, when you used to watch whatever. Joker got 27, 12, and 9, 10 for 14 for the field goals.
See, I think these are the moments where, because even if, like, again, if we critique LeBron about passing the ball at the end of the game early in his career, Joker is perfectly capable of hitting all these shots.
Yeah.
He gotta demolish, and I don't even remember seeing that. Like, maybe it's because his game is so like uncharismatic. He just got this floppy game.
He looked doofy. He
Yeah.
looked doofy out there. That's
And we
all.
know
He
he's
just looked
great,
doofy.
but we want to see
Yeah.
you down the stretch right now. Give me the ball. Go in Kobe mode. You can't be in the conversation for the best offensive player ever and not say, I'm taking over.
Exactly. Like I said, his skill set is dope. I definitely Joker's a
Yeah, though you
top
can't
10
pass
player.
that ball. You can't pass
Joker
that ball. You can't
Joker's a
pass that
top
ball.
10
The
player, but
most pressure he will put on the team right now, especially the Clippers, is to get to the basket, make them foul you. You can hit free throws. You got 2-3 people on you. That would make an easier shot for any one of your teammates because now you double and triple team. You don't pass it off when you get to the 3-point line. I don't like that. I don't like that. He's a point center. I get it, but now we were critiquing LeBron the same way. We got to be consistent because again, Joker's up there with the damn near up there with the best passes we ever seen. He's 7 feet passing like that. We're lucky Trey
now
Young is a 6'5".
why Jamal Murray look like Squidmeyer from SpongeBob? All he need to be is blue, yo. For Halloween next year, Jamal Murray should dress up like Squidmeyer. Oh, good defense, KCP. Oh, that was a bad call, ref. Come on, ref. You gotta let. Oh, really? Oh, Aaron Gordon fouled out. Wow. And look at the way the coaches dress. And coaches get to dress now. They wearing tech suits and sneakers. It's not 1975 when they had on them hot ass wool suits sweating. I like the way you need to be comfortable coaching. I'm not gonna be sweating in no hot ass polyester suit, bro. Nah, let me be comfortable out there. It's still a uniform. It could be, remember, the NBA, I mean, it's all about looking neat. You could wear, they're making sneakers and athletic wear look neat. That's all.
Whatever suits you best.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be out there no hard ass shoes walking. Nah, think about that, bro. I could put on something with an air bubble. Hell yeah. That's what them coaches in the NFL need to be doing. I see a lot of them dudes getting their asses knocked down on the sideline. Andy Reid, old ass happened to him. He been knocked down on the sideline. Oh, Joker. He's like, Raymond, I hear you. I will go into attack mode now.
Why so serious?
I will score. Just like I'm telling you, bro, when you watch Rocky and all that, also look out for the IBB Creed preview and review coming soon. When Apollo hit Drago gloves, he should have knew it was over. Them gloves did not move, and he still wanted to fight. Just like you ever watched that movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme, Kickboxer?
Yeah, come on. 20 years ago.
Yo,
40
remember
years ago.
when your man Jean-Claude, there's a scene where Jean-Claude Van Damme is going to get ice for his brother, and he see Tong Po kicking the wall, the beam, and the shit is breaking. And he go back and tell his brother, yo, maybe we should reschedule this fight. He's like, what? We got this. Your man got a fucking Jerry curl mullet, and your man start doing these stupid ass moves like, yo, he don't move like this. We got him. When they go to that fight scene, this nigga, first of all, Tong Po rips the championship belt in half. Once you saw that, you should have knew it was over. Then he paralyzes Jean-Claude Van Damme brother because he didn't listen to him. He told the nigga, this dude is not gonna be a good look for you. And he, like, Apollo should have listened to Rocky. Okay, tie game.
That rant started all because you were talking about Joker.
As far as what?
You said Apollo should have known he would have lost when he didn't move Drago's gloves.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying, like certain dudes is just like you don't have it, bro. Like certain dudes just don't have it, and that's cool. You can still be a great player and not have it. I just look at Denver as a team that's going to be a great regular season team, but I know they're not going to. They're not winning no championship. It's a lot of teams like that, not just them. Like, I'm talking about in all sports. You can look at a team like, yeah, they're not winning no championship. They look good in the regular season.
Well, because we think the two best teams are in the East, because these teams are
Yeah,
West. I don't see how. I don't see the difference between any one of these teams in the Western Conference. They're gonna all like. I don't know who's gonna win this game. I don't know who will win a
exactly.
7-game series, and I feel that way about 1 through 8 in the West right now.
I just think about the thing about playoff basketball is different than regular season basketball. You're gonna play more minutes. You expect your best players to be out there. The games are half court. It's more intense. It's more physical. So to what Denver's doing now, it may not work in the playoffs and vice versa. That's what I'm saying. It's all. It also goes with matchups. Some people just match up against people, and it's like, damn, that's a bad matchup for them. Like even though
Right. So
the
who would be the
Clippers,
bad matchup? Because right now I didn't realize the Jazz are in 8th, which is crazy, and Minnesota's in 9th, and the Pelicans. Yeah, those three teams are not. I don't see them. They're bad. They're anybody's a bad matchup for them. The Jazz, the Timberwolves, and the Pelicans. Because the Lakers, if
okay,
they're healthy, they can make some noise.
this okay. So look at like I heard right now, if the playoff was to start today, Denver will be playing Utah. Denver's beating Utah. Memphis will be playing Golden State. At this juncture, with no Steph Curry, of course, we know Golden State should lose. Then you have Memphis playing the Dallas Mavericks. That would be a crazy series to see because you got Luka Kyrie versus DeAndre Fox in them. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Or
I
the
think that's
King. You said the Grizzlies. The Kings versus the Mavericks.
yeah. I'm sorry, Kings Mavericks because that'll be the 3 and 6, and then you have 4 and 5, which would be the Clippers versus Phoenix. So if you're putting Kevin Durant on Phoenix, you're thinking, oh, they should beat the Clippers in a 7-game series.
You got them beating the Clippers.
Yeah, if Kevin, this is all based on health. So right now, I would see Denver beating Utah. I would see Memphis beating the Golden State Warriors. I would see Sacramento. The Sacramento Dallas thing to me, as far as matchup, the only thing that gives us the edge is that no one can guard Luka because they're pretty much small. And Christian Wood can somehow be more. He's a little bit more athletic than Sabonis, so he's going to be a little bit more active. But Sabonis is the typical physical center. He's physical, got a rebound. He got a post. You know what I'm saying? And then
He's like a baby Joker, but more physical, a little more
and
stiff.
then it comes down to coaching. Is Jason Kidd going to outcoach Mike Brown? Is Mike Brown going to outcoach Jason Kidd?
Jason Kidd, honorable mention from earlier when we were talking about the top coaches in the league, right?
I love
Well,
Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd, listen, Jason Kidd to me, the only reason I like that Luka is in Dallas and Luka has Dirk Nowitzki as a mentor and he has Jason Kidd, who I always say, if there was no Magic Johnson, in my eyes, Jason Kidd to me was the best point guard. He could rebound, he played defense, he was putting you in the right positions to win, you know what I'm saying? Then later on he developed the 3-point shot, you know what I'm saying? But he
yeah,
always played defense, rebounded, and assisted the ball his whole career.
he's in the conversation because you're in the playoffs in the 5th seed. I mean, they're running Luka to the ground maybe, but he's young. But you still have to coach that team. They have Kyrie now. I don't know. I still don't know if they can beat Sacramento.
They could be. They're
Sacramento has
going
a
to be.
lot more weapons.
They're good. They're going to be. I'm not. Dallas is going to be Sacramento. I'm not even worried about that. Like Sacramento. Like Sacramento is your first time making the playoff. You're not. Luka's going to run. No one can stop him on that team. Luka's going to do whatever he wants. And then you got to have Kyrie. But my thing is, it's all about Christian Wood. The activity going against Sabonis. You have to make Sabonis guard you because remember, Christian Wood could shoot the three. He could go to the basket. He could cut. He catch alley oops. So Sabonis get him out that paint, make him uncomfortable. And
Yeah,
then when DeAndre Fox tried to come into the lane, we got Christian Wood, we got Powell, we got big people, we got Luka who's 6'6". We got long people. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. So I wouldn't be either way. I'm not surprised if that Kings Mavericks series goes 7 games.
Yeah, I know. I understand that aspect of it. I think we can be. I think honestly, I give Sacramento. I give us 4 games to 2. 4 games to 2.
I'm not surprised if the Phoenix Clippers series, if this was the case, going to the playoffs, if that would go 7 games.
Nah, if they got KD, Clippers should be out of there in 6 games.
Okay. I wouldn't be surprised at 7 is what I'm saying. Grizzlies, Golden State.
Without Curry, they getting swept.
Even if Curry comes back now, I think he's hobbling. Though the Grizzlies, I mean, they're still playing, they're still holding up. They're 5-5 in their last 10.
Memphis in second place. No matter how bad they've been these last stretch, they're still in second place in the West. So they're still there for a reason.
Yeah, they're 5-5 in the last 10. But Memphis is a bad road team. I didn't know that. So Memphis and Golden State are bad. I mean, Golden State is horrible on the road.
Absolutely.
7-23.
Yeah, that's not cool
at all. So Dallas is horrible on the road, 12-19.
Well, at least Memphis got double-digit wins. They're 11-18 though.
Yeah, but that's bad. That's
the Lakers. The Lakers is 14-18. Golden State. Goddamn.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that though. That's closer to 500. The Pelicans are horrible. No, the Pelicans are horrible. They just made it to double digits.
First of all, the Rockets are 5-27 on the road and 8-20 at home. They're horrible.
The Rockets in San Antonio got military time.
Yeah,
got military time records.
Nah, these niggas got
13, 40.
San Antonio is 9-21 like September 21st right now.
Yeah. They got 2 dates.
Listen, at home, they're September, and on the road, they're May because they're 5-26.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, the Clippers up by 1. Michael Porter Jr.? Oh, let's go, Michael Porter Jr., let's go. With the 3. I'm not a Denver Nugget fan, but I rock with my man Michael Porter Jr. since he was in college. I'm just glad he out there because, he had that back issue.
Yeah. It's a good game.
Yeah, there's been some good games all day. There's been a lot of good games. That the Bucks game was good. The Laker game was good. This game was good. The Nets game was a close game.
And in the Eastern Conference, the Cleveland has a bad road record, 13-18. And then the other 2 playoff teams with bad road records, all the rest of the teams with bad road records at the bottom. Miami Heat 7th, Atlanta in 8th.
Yeah.
Toronto 9th. So that makes sense, and it's logical because you got great defensive teams.
And remember, to win a championship, you got to win on the road, bro. It's not just you got to win games on the road. You got to steal a game. You got to does the thing. Playoff basketball, that home court shit don't always help out.
And like we said, Memphis is young, so we can understand the 11-18 record for them. I don't understand Phoenix's 12-19 record if that's the case, and Golden State 7-23. That's the thing because they're 24-7 at home. I don't get that. You have veterans.
Yeah, but remember, Steph has been in and out the lineup. There's a lot of going. Clay was slow coming back too. Like he was in and out the like. It's a lot that goes into that. That's why I said when you look at regular season basketball, I always say, like I was telling your man too earlier, the real season for me is after the All-Star game. Because now the real teams are going to settle into their position, and then you're going to see the playoff. And then remember, teams, if the Celtics run away with the East, they're going to rest players. If Denver runs away with the West, people are going to start resting. But you got those teams like the Lakers that might be building camaraderie because they're trying to fight. You know what I'm saying? So it's the comfort factor. You got some teams that you are going to watch drop, and some teams are going to come up. Fraud with the first one. Yo, everybody in the NBA got dread. I've never seen so many dreads in the league. Do the Clippers got the most dreads on their roster? Everybody got dreads. Okay, tie game.
Yeah, man. PG?
Nah, Paul Freud. That's Paul Fraud, bro. You can't hit the side of the backboard in the bubble. You Paul Fraud, bro. He had too many bad playoff games, man.
His last playoff run was really good.
Yeah, without Kawhi, because there was no expectation when they got to the Western Conference Finals. Absolutely. Oh, he pulling. Who was that pulling like that? Oh, that don't count though. Oh shit.
So happened was with Embiid yesterday.
Yeah, that was crazy. That game was crazy too. Look at Nicholas Batum with the weeble wobble head. Yeah, it's after the fact. No, this game, these games is fire this weekend.
Yeah.
Yo, you saw Manny Machado getting another $300 million contract, right?
Damn. Yeah, you shouldn't.
Nah, Manny Machado was nice. I remember when he was on Baltimore, I always liked Manny Machado, bro. This dude is making almost with his 2 contracts. This dude gonna have close to $700 million earned in baseball.
You know, my man is his teammate.
Oh, yeah, but he got to stay on the field, man. He got suspended. Tatis.
No, not him.
Oh,
not him. Damn, what's my man's name? I forgot his name already.
On the Padres?
Yeah, he got traded from the Nationals.
I know who you're talking about, but I forgot his name. Yeah, but I mean, they got a mean team with those 3 guys, but it's gonna be hard to keep them with all that money they making. Somebody got to go.
I think they got a major owner now.
Because remember, Tatis got that big deal. Machado getting that big deal. Homeboy from the who they got for the Nationals. He up next year to get paid. So it's gonna be interesting.
Juan Soto. I think they're gonna go after him.
There you go.
He's listen. I think we talked about it in the summertime. That plate discipline, I ain't seen this since Barry Bonds. And I seen Big Poppy talking about him. And he was saying, yo, I became a beast later on in my career the way he is now.
And as I tell people, I'm a Met fan, but my favorite baseball player that I feel is the best baseball player, but he's been injured. He was injured last year. Is my man Mike Trout. Mike Trout is unbelievable. Like Mike Trout,
yeah,
that dude is on another level. Like this dude is a problem. It's just that he's on the Angels, and it's like if he was on the Yankees instead of Juan Carlos Stanton, I think the Yankees win World Series.
Oh, come on. That's not fair.
When you got Aaron Judge and you got that type of batting range, because remember, Trout came for power, average. He plays defense.
And he has speed.
Love Mike Trout, but he was hurt, so I think he's gonna have a monster year this season. I look for that because he was up and down with the injuries. He had a bad year. He still hit over 35. I think he hit 40 home runs last year, and that was a bad season for him.
Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize he was. I didn't even realize he was healthy. I didn't even realize he was playing. Like maybe baseball, because that's what I want to see about Bob Ryan. Bob Ryan, like a lot of these old school guys, that's why the Gilbert Arenas of the world and JJ Redick go off so much, because we have all these old people just saying dumb shit. Bob Ryan said, "Give me Game 7 of the 1960 World Series any day over this baseball this year, how it is now." Dog, what are you talking about? Don't give me anything from 1960 ever.
But that's what I'm saying. These old dudes are stuck in their era. I bet you right now.
What was going on in the 1960 Game 7?
I'll put it to you like this. I bet you back then in medieval times when dudes was getting their arms and legs cut off, I wish they had a Tech 9, right?
Exactly.
Like everything can't be the chain. Everything got to evolve.
Let me tell you something.
Where's my man Mike Trout? Hold on.
What's Louis? What's his name? Louis C.K. He made a funny ass joke. He said, "If I'm gonna hop in a time machine, I'll hop in on a time machine from now to any time back in the day. You name a time period, but I ain't never going to the future." the way they say white people gonna get destroyed out there.
Last year, I was right. Mike Trout last year batted .283. Hit 40 home runs, 80 RBIs. His OPS was .99, which was third in the league. And he only played in 119 games last year. Like, he's a problem, bro.
Was he working his way back? Because he was the last 3 seasons been 53, 36.
Yeah, he had an injury and he had a nagging calf injury or something like that's what I'm saying. But overall, he's consistent. Like, look at his averages for his career. Like
You just
this
look at
dude,
his OPS is over 1,000 for his career.
yes, it's crazy.
He's
His
insane.
average, his career average is 303, bro. That's his career average.
I remember when he first came and it was him versus what's the kid that's on Philly
Bryce
now?
Harper. Bryce Harper.
What's my shout out my man Jose Andrade. I
Now
told
Bryce
him I
Harper
said
is nice, but
he's nice,
Mike Trout
but
different.
there's just when you just watch the game and you just I grew up looking at these kind of stats that make sense. If you're gonna work the count, Albert Pujols, he had like how many seasons he only struck out like 50 times a year,
Yeah,
and
like that's
he's for power. That's a different level. You
and
like
you know
remember you got to pitch against that. Nah,
and you know how I feel about Barry Bonds. I think Barry Bonds should be on someone's roster as a batting coach because, like you said, that plate patience that he showed Michael Porter Jr. with the three again, that plate patience and the way Barry Bonds hits for average, you have to have that. Like like you said, not everybody has that. Only a certain few, like Pujols is one of them. He
I don't
had the
think you could teach
patience.
that
You
because
can't.
yeah, you can't. I think that's part of the personality. That's part of what makes someone great. That's
Yeah.
um that's how Moneyball changed the game because
Yeah,
you're
like
looking for those kind of players. It ain't all about the home runs. It's about who's chipping
no.
away at a starting pitcher's armor.
Yes. Like look at Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter didn't hit a lot of home runs, but he hit for average. He hit for average. Ichiro Suzuki hit for average. He didn't hit for power, but he go get them singles, them doubles, them chip hits. That's crucial.
But Jeter's a special case. He's like the typical person that Moneyball kind of went against. He looked like a star. Like he looked like I was totally comfortable like that. I wasn't a Yankees fan, but watching Jeter was like that was
Bro,
like a movie
did,
star.
did you watch Derek Jeter special?
No,
Yo,
V
listen
told
to
me it
me,
was
bro.
crazy.
Listen to me. Derek Jeter, excuse me, he was told by someone, I'm not going to tell you what they said because I want to ruin it for you. He was told by someone, you ain't going to make it to the major league. He said, I became the best baseball player in the United States. And he wasn't lying. He was the top, Derek Jeter from Kalamazoo, Michigan, like you said, was meant because he said it. I'm going to play for the Yankees. When he was young, he said that. And look what Derek Jeter turned. And remember, he was all from New York. He loved the pressure. He delivered 5 championships. He wasn't soft. He showed up. He embodied being the captain of the Yankees. You understand what I'm saying? Like everyone doesn't have that. He was a franchise player. He took the scrutiny. He won the chips. He delivered. He's Mr. November. Like he's historic because he was built for that. Everybody's not built for that. Everybody doesn't have that to say like, yo, when it's crunch time, we need something. Like when he dove and hit his face on the seats. Everyone's not doing that.
It's instinctive. It's a different level. It's a different level
Denver's up
of
9. Uh-oh.
well, the Clippers is it back to back games in overtime?
The Clippers is
The
getting
Kings
clipped right
game.
now. The Clippers in the barber chair getting clipped. They're not clipping anybody. They're getting clipped right now.
They played Memphis yesterday. No, Denver played Memphis. It got blown out.
Listen, bro. All I know is they got to get it together.
This ain't looking
Hold
good.
on. Nah, let me go use the restroom again. Hold up. That's why I love drinking water, bro.
Yeah, I've been drinking more and more water lately as well.
Nah, lately, I've been drinking water, period. Like, I try to drink mad water all day because I told you I had a kidney infection when I was younger. And sometimes you don't want your piss looking like apple juice. I like when it look like water.
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes your piss be mad yellow. Be like, damn, am I dying?
I remember I was messing with a chick back in the day and told me, and she goes, "Yo, that's your pee? Your piss smells like that?" And like it was
Bro,
mad
yeah,
yellow. She was like, "You need to drink some water." And I was like,
you
"What?"
had
She's like,
that,
"Yeah."
you had that bum piss then. You smell like a bum. You had the wino piss.
Yeah.
Nigga, your shit that you dehydrated, nigga. You need to get some
Yeah.
help.
I was bugging.
You need some aqua hydrate, like Puff and Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, and see if the Clippers can make a comeback because this will be 2 in a
Uh,
row, and it's back-to-back games in overtime.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that would drop their road record to 18 and 16. They have a decent road record, but they're just like we said, they're trying to
I
stay the
just,
course, and I just don't see. I thought Kawhi early on in the season, I saw some spurts, but I don't see him. Look, this is
bro,
back-to-back overtime games.
like
What
I
are you
like
doing
I
to pull through? We just
like I
asked
try,
about Joker, right?
like I tried to tell Dom. Shout out to your boy Dom. Kawhi Leonard. They don't need spurts from him. They need him to play. He has to be Kawhi Leonard. He can't play in spurts, and that's the problem. Like they're not gonna have no cohesion because in the playoffs it's every other day. Like it's not. It's every other day. You got to play. Look at the Jokic got 38, 16, and 9.
Yeah,
God damn.
yeah. I think he heard me loud and clear.
He, I, you will lose, Raymond.
And it was but the Memphis game, they got blown out, right?
Who?
Denver.
When last night? Hold on. I don't even know. I didn't even know they played last night. Hold on.
I thought they did. It's the schedule.
Scores. Now I'm gonna go to yesterday. Uh, yeah, the Grizzlies beat them 112-94 last night.
Yeah, it
So
wasn't
the
close.
Clippers. So the Clippers should have no excuse. They're not
They're
coming off
just
of back to back.
yeah.
The Nuggets are.
I just look at it like that. That's why I say with the Lakers, it's all on AD's health because he's the guy. When you're that dominant, that's why it's sad to see Embiid not pull through in the playoffs because he's the guy in the conference finals in that second round that you need to have those games. What we're talking about with Joker and all that.
And look
Who
at
else?
this. Look at this game. Paul George got 21, Kawhi got 33, Westbrook got 17, Bones got 10, right? And then you look at Denver, Porter Jr. got 29, Nokalic got 40, and Murray got 21. You see what I'm saying? Michael Porter Jr. showed up. When your people, and that's what I was talking about with Luka last year. The difference between Luka last year when we had Brunson was doing what he was doing, but he was coming off the bench. You need someone. If you average 18, I need that 18 from you every night. I can't get 7, 9. You have to be consistent. Jamal Murray averaged 21 in the season. He got 21. You feel what I'm saying? Michael Porter Jr. averaged 18. He gave you an extra 11 points. He got 29. On top of what Joker did, that's what I'm saying. On top of Joker big numbers, he also got his teammates showing up for him.
I mean, this is a big performance by Joker against
Yeah,
the Clippers.
no. This is a great performance because remember, where's the defense that Paul George and Kawhi Leonard play? I ain't seen Paul George or Kawhi Leonard try to stop Joker yet.
That's out the window. That was all Ball's point. Where was
It's
the
out the
defense against
window.
Sacramento?
No, it's out the window. But these guys were known as defensive players because Jimmy Butler still played defense. Like certain people still play defense. Look at Middleton. Look at Drew Holiday. There's a lot of people that play defense. But what I'm saying is, when somebody's busting your ass, you got to say, at least let me try. You got right now. Kawhi Leonard was trying to be on Joker, but it's the overtime. They already up 6 points. Oh, look at Joker with the steal. And the pass. Oh, that was ill. That was ill right there.
You hellos.
I played defense. I got steal.
What did you say, Joseph?
Well, that might be his. How many steals he got in the season? That might be his 5th. Remember, he's not out there for defensive purposes. Like he's out there to initiate. But that was just a bad pass by the Morris brother. That was just low IQ basketball. You see the man there, you trying to throw a lazy pass.
We are old and tired basketball, dog. The Clippers are old and tired. This is the 3 overtimes
I'm
in 3
tired,
days.
baby. ITB, I'm tired, baby. Joker got 40, 17, and 10. I'm tired, baby.
He's destroyed these dudes.
Throw in the damn towel. That's what time it is. Throw in the towel. Yo, this dude got 99 triple doubles. Damn.
Yeah.
Most among centers, yo. Listen, like I said, if he wins this, like I said, you know how I feel about this. If he gets this 3rd MVP, he gotta make the Western Conference Finals. You can't lose in the 1st or 2nd round being the 3rd MVP for 3 years in a row.
we have to see these kind of performances in the playoffs.
Yes. We know
Stay in
we
the
no no.
game.
We have to see this is what he should be doing in the playoffs against. For them to win, he got to put up. Remember, to me, when I look at the great plays, the people that we saw that was great, LeBron scoring average will go up. Michael Jordan scoring average will go up. Kobe scoring average, because it's a playoff. They need more from you at certain points. He got to come correct. But then again, where's the competition? Zubac is trash. And I don't even think he played tonight. Now, if you do this against AD, you do this against Andre Ayton in the Western Conference Finals, that's a different story.
Well, I don't think Zubac is trash
No,
because
I'm
the
talking
Lakers are
about
missing him.
no. When I say trash, I mean he's not offensively on Joker's level. So Joker don't got to worry about him having 40 on the other end.
Right. And again, if they play the Jazz, if they play the Timberwolves or the
The
Pelicans in the first
Jazz, come
round,
on, man. The
or even
Pelicans not
Golden
about to.
State, they should really, man. I would love to see them against Golden State, actually.
They should manhandle Golden State, honestly, because Draymond Green, ain't we talking about Draymond Green was guarding Joker. Joker averaged 32 on Draymond Green last year in the playoffs.
He was just hacking as usual.
He was just doing the Draymond Green shenanigans, and Joker was just being. Sometimes you get frustrated. It's frustration.
But
But he
props to
was,
Joker because
yeah.
this is the Clippers. They're the fourth ranked team. No, the fifth highest ranked team in the West.
They
Well,
just put it on the Clippers because the Clippers had a chance to win this game. They did come back. They had a lead, so
they were half a game ahead of the Mavericks in sixth place. And anybody would we really be surprised if the Clippers dropped to eighth or something like that?
no, because Kawhi Leonard's due to get hurt in 5 seconds.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. Kawhi Leonard is, look how he walking. Something he been playing basketball. These dudes be hurting.
Especially Kawhi. That torn
Yeah.
quad. They really should look into something like that. Like, I don't know if he has a chance to sue.
What's going on with Squigmeyer? Look at Dante Jones getting a check as a coach. I remember Dante Jones was on Duke and he caught that dunk and started doing push-ups.
28-4 at home, best in the NBA.
Hey, remember we said you got to win road games in the playoffs, though.
What the hell happened to Jamal Murray?
But I will say this: the advantage for Denver is the altitude factor. That's their advantage. My man Scott Van Pelt. Scott Van Pelt looked like Professor X's son. If he had a son,
his how you say his casual son? How you say out of wedlock?
no,
his bastard son.
No. This looked like this could be his son because he looks like he's in a wheelchair too because he's behind the desk.
Yo, I think on that note, this was the IBB. I'm Broke Baby Live. It's your man Joe Rose. His favorite perspective. We out of here with this. The Clippers versus the Nuggets. Joker had a hell of a game, legendary to be honest.
Joker definitely. He had a 40-point triple-double. So I mean, he definitely, like I said, Joker putting up numbers. Dame Lillard.
So we out of here off this live. Till next time, fellas.
Next time, people.